welcome or welcome back to Tarot AF. So today I've got another pick a card reading for you guys waiting. We have all about your soulmate. So we have got 4 piles in front of us today. We have pile 1 with the rose quartz heart. We have pile 2 with the green Avenger star. We have pile 3 with the moss agate moon. And we also have pile 4 with the amethyst butterfly. So what we're going to look at today is obviously all about your soulmate. We're going to look at what this connection is based on, kind of how you guys ultimately connect in that way, what kind of emotions, feelings kind of come up and that kind of thing. We'll then also look at what your first meeting, or when you meet them for this connection, what your energy will be like, what their energy will be like, and then ultimately how your first meeting will likely to go. And then we'll also get kind of earthly situations that you guys will encounter together, your soul contract, its higher purpose, and then we'll also get some songs that may resonate with you guys and some love advice for you at this moment in time. So if you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello, welcome. You can take a moment, you can pause the video, see which one is drawing your eye, and what I do is I pop the times in the box below and you can meet me there for your reading. I will see you then. Bye. Hello my lovely friends of pile 1. So if you picked the rose quartz heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's see what this connection is based on, what connects you guys in that way. So we have got the observer card, we have reflection, we have passion, we also have happiness, and we have magic. So with the observer card in the center, I think Spirit is saying that this connection is going to, for both people, kind of allow you both to suspend any judgment, and maybe that's judgment of love. Maybe if in love you feel like you've had to be really hyper aware of everything and you're aware of every single action, and you know, and really trying to kind of not control it, but I think maybe you feel like you've had to force things or really give so much of yourself in that way. And I think this is really a mirror up to that, a reflection. And actually maybe you guys are going to be really reflective of others, and this is going to be a very give and take relationship where it kind of feels like just like really letting your hand off the wheel and just taking that step back. And maybe that feels apathetic, maybe it feels like you are a bit like the hanged man, as it were, like kind of surrendering to whatever happens. But actually it's kind of knowing there's a time and place to act. And I feel like for both people, you are just going to be in this relationship really comfortable with the silences and listening to one another and the stillness of the relationship. And I think you'll know things about one another with this observer card, which will almost feel a bit like magic. Like you'll feel like you know exactly how the other person is feeling and all of that stuff by just observing them, because you feel like you know them so well. Maybe they even feel like a mirror reflection of you in so many ways. There's probably a lot of differences, but I think on a soul level you both are very, very similar, and kind of take that off one another and can kind of see that. It might even feel quite scary feeling like someone is so much like you as well, but there is so much happiness and passion here. And the magic as well. I feel like this is almost looking into the mystic magic. I feel like you just feel like a really powerful couple, and the magic is just always there through your passions. And maybe you have these passions of kind of different things that maybe even conflict sometimes, like maybe you both chase different things and that kind of thing, but somehow with the magic it just works. And I feel like you guys as a team can bring about what you want. And there is just contentment and joy there. And I think you just, with the observer as well, I think I'm really hearing that you both want to see a way for the world. Like even if it kind of slightly differs in approach and that kind of thing, I think you ultimately want to, and your person wants to, have a reflection on your actions and also the actions of many, and change the way people think and act, and yeah, and I think you both are quite liberated in that way. And Spirit's saying this connection, like we're saying in the quiet, as it were, it's actually so you don't have to, in your external world, be the loudest couple, or you know, be the loudest person speaking in the room or anything like that. Actually, there's so much power in your silence, in observing and learning, learning from other people's actions, learning from your past actions, and making changes towards your happiness and towards passion and ultimately love. So I think this relationship is like a very magical one, in that way, and it feels really, really healthy, give and take wise, and yeah, just a very, with the kind of magic crystal ball in the center, and then also this reflection as well. It feels like you, even if sometimes you don't see clarity of vision and clarity of everything that you see, I feel like you, or maybe you're not communicating outwardly, like internally, I think you just know on that level, you know each other almost like a sixth sense. Like it feels like for you guys, and I love the threads here, I can just see this kind of silver thread that connects you, and maybe that's in anything that you do. You kind of just, even if you're not together, even if you guys are separated for whatever reason, you can just feel, or maybe your lives also kind of reflect each other, like reflect what each other's are doing, and like when you guys arrive together, or when you're going through any situation, it feels like a mirror. You both are kind of on kind of parallel lines, doing almost the same things in different ways, like I was saying, like chasing different things, but it feels like everything almost happens on the same timeline for both of you. So yeah, so this is your connection, what that's based on. So let's see what your first meeting is going to be like. But like I said in the intro as well, you know, you might have known this person for years and never actually had that connection with them in this way, until much later. So this is really your first meeting, if you do know this person already, for when you arrive at this connection, kind of at the heat of it, I want to say. But yeah, so we have the Liberator card, freeing yourself and others. This is you, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And you've also got Butterfly. We've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse, we've got Death, Rebirth, and we've also got the Page of Pentacles. And for them, where they're going to be, they are Judge, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. And we also have Elephant Spirit there. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Two of Wands, and we have the Tower as well. So firstly, let's start with you. So when you kind of arrive at this connection, I absolutely love this, the Liberator, and then we've got the Judge. It, like we say with the mirrors, it's really funny. It's kind of the same releasing and kind of, I think of that Judgment card of bursting people open and liberating, freeing people of the preconceptions of what they thought they could be and everything, and like the outmoded like beliefs and everything, and just challenging that, transforming. And I think for you, you'll arrive in this relationship in a place where you have liberated yourself, and you've actually, with this Five of Pentacles, it feels like you've kind of embraced a door slamming in your face for whatever reason that is. With the Five of Pentacles, maybe, you know, it could be in terms of a job, career, whatever that was. Maybe you slammed the door in its face and you're like, actually, I don't want to do that anymore. Or maybe you feel like that was like left you, sort of thing. But either way, actually, you releasing that known security and being like, okay, what next? The Butterfly is this transformation, is this, okay, leaning into the people that you love in that kind of cocoon, as it were, but really freeing yourself of that coffin of what you thought you could be, and really just opening up to the world of possibilities and just being open and receptive to anything. This is also, you could be an air sign, but we've also got Earth here as well. So air, we could have Gemini, Aquarius or Libra, and Earth signs, we could have a Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus, but you don't have to be, you could just have those placements somewhere in your chart. But I just feel like you guys, and we had that kind of observer, the butterfly in the cocoon is kind of just internally preparing themselves, like not allowing the external world really to take that much effect, because you're kind of in that soft space, and then just bursting forward into that world when you're ready to liberate yourself and to help liberate others. And with this death rebirth, again, rebirth, like it feels like there was a death to one cycle, one big cycle of your life, and maybe that was in terms of known security in that way, like a job, a career, maybe where you were living, something like that. It just feels like there was a kind of a stop. There was a need to change, and you made that awareness and you embraced it, and you were like, hell yeah, let's change then. If that's what's going on, let's just go a different path. And it really feels like a new dawn, a new stage for you, full of limitless possibilities. And with this Page of Pentacles, it feels like you're almost, in terms of your career or whatever that is, or your security, you're really getting back to basics. And you're just like, okay, great, I've got all of these skills, I've got all this stuff that I can do, I've got all of these ideas, seeds of thinking, that kind of thing. And these are my blocks, these are my foundations. I can put them anywhere I want, I can do whatever I want. And it's just, it feels like a really freeing time, because you're not constrained by, like we were saying, what you want, like what you thought you wanted. And it's a good time for you to observe, observe what you want to do, and really balance that and play and really rejoice in all of that is. And you have great common sense, you've got all of that kind of smarts, as it were, and yeah, and I think you're just in a really, really good place to kind of ground what you want. But ultimately, you know that you don't want to go back into the dated form that you were thinking in the past. You're like, I've already changed, I know I've changed, so actually I can't go back and do that. I've got to kind of start something new. I've got to move forward and keep transforming myself, keep bringing around this ever-evolving change. So let's look at them as well. So we have the Judge, so we've got balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. We have Elephant Spirit as well. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and we also have the Tower. So in here as well, we have got, again, well, we've got earth energy again, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but we've also got fire. So if this person is a fire sign, I would not be surprised. So we have got a Leo, Aries, or potentially a Sagittarius. And with this Judge, I love this, the Judge and the Liberator, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. I feel like this person is, well, the Elephant as well calls this as well, is someone who just pushes past obstacles, again, has innate amounts of wisdom, and is just strong in their beliefs and what they want to bring around. But both people in a really like friendly, joyous way as well. Like I think of elephants as these really strong, sturdy, you know, if you mess with them, they've got their tusks, like all of that stuff, but really they're just like elephants in a pool, like throwing water around and like holding each other's tails to walk. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really interesting. It feels like you both are freeing in that way, freeing people from obstacles, but also yourself from obstacles. And I think this person is very, very in tune with who they are. And I feel like if maybe you feel like you're coming to not coming to terms, but awakening more and feeling like you want to pursue your liberator spirit a bit more and really kind of see where you want to go with that, and you haven't like really found a concrete path after having that door shut in whatever way it was, I feel like this person has been doing this for a long time, as in they are someone who is very grounded in what they're doing. And not that you're not, but I feel like you are a liberator. You are more free with yourself. You don't want to just structure yourself in, whereas I feel like this person is kind of like, whatever they've chosen to do, it's very similar in terms of wanting to bring around justice for people and be a compassionate person. And I'm really like impelled to for the underdog and that kind of thing, and really help those people. And I think this person, they've still got goals, they've still got a kind of dominion that they want to set and everything, but they've kind of found their groove, as it were, on how they can sustain themselves, find that security, that grounding, but also do what they want to do, as it were. And I think they've still got high goals, and maybe even traveling is something that they want to do. And because we've got this kind of world in the corner with this like little camper van, but I just see it's more that they want to take on the world. Like, they've got so much that they want to do, and their sights are limitless with where they want to go. And with the elephant, it's like there is so much fire that I think of fire as well, like life is forged where there has been fire, destruction, and not that they want to destroy the world, but they just want to cut down and burn through, like you as well, patterns and that kind of thing, and really help liberate and enlighten the world, and create new things, new brilliant things. And with this tower, it feels like this person has, well, the tower is this kind of sun shock that really shakes people psychologically, and kind of makes them, they've still got their foundation. So kind of very similar to you in that way. Maybe they get a real knock on where they're going, or that kind of thing. And maybe what they had been building, or what they had been envisaging, maybe that gets broken down, and actually they are left with their foundation of their core beliefs and everything that they stand for, but they have to rebuild because the way that they were going around things wasn't necessarily the path that they needed to go to. But I also think this is just who they are as a person. Like, they send shockwaves in a good way to people, and I think they probably encounter a lot of setbacks and all of those kind of things, but like you, they get back up and they're fighters. And I think you both are those kind of people. In terms of the world, you know, you can have people that surrender to circumstances, people who are warriors who fight, and people who are just kind of on top, as it were, who just kind of who are kind of kings, as it were. But I think you guys are both a kind of, you're very sturdy in where you want to be. So you could be observers, sit back and be kings, as it were. But actually, you guys are both warriors for other people. And until every single person is free, you guys are like, we're still going. Whatever that is, whatever you are called to do in terms of your life, whether that's bringing around spiritual awakening, whether that's inventing or whatever it is, or kind of law in that way, whatever. I think you guys just have so much, both of you, that you want to achieve solo as well as a pair. But also with this observer card which I keep bringing back to as well, I think you guys know when to act, know when people are ready to hear those truths and be liberated and all of those things. And that's a major power as well, because not everyone is ready, and not everyone is ready to hear the call, sort of thing. So let's look at what your first meeting is going to be like. So we have the Knight of Cups here, and the Knight of Cups is our, I'm hearing Romeo of the Tarot, but that's not even what I was going to say. But it's kind of like this, I think this meeting, however it comes about, it's going to feel like, oh wow, that is it. And it's this just healing and reassuring presence. This is kind of water energy. So maybe one or both of you have water placements, so you could have Scorpio, Cancer or Pisces, but not necessarily. But I just feel like it is kind of just this offering. I feel like you both in your first meeting wear your hearts on your sleeve, and you can really connect on your love of humanity and love of helping others. And I feel like we were saying, this, you guys want to heal the world and kind of rebuild and all of those things. And I think you'll both identify that with each other, and it really feels like a kind of message, from the divine. Maybe even if you weren't looking for it, like maybe if you were both very focused on your careers and that kind of thing at that moment in time, and your vision of who you want to be and where you want to go, it might feel a bit like jaunted, being like, oh, this person, wow. And I think it, with this Knight of Cups, it is very much just this reassuring message, this reassuring offering of an emotional experience and opportunity. It feels like an Ace of Cups moment, like this fortuitous moment in time, and just being open and receptive, and just being able to really drink deeply from each other's emotions, because you are both so open with one another, that it just feels like, oh wow, this is a really rare, and we're obviously looking at soulmates, but soul connection, someone I really get on that level. Like we were saying, that reflection, that mirror, it feels like it is kind of, you both have similar energy, which you can just feed off of. And obviously we had that passion card earlier as well. So I feel like there is just this innate passion there, like there's this like rare connection, which is really like, you can't put it into words. It's undescribable. You just feel it. I just feel like there's this like drawing energy to you. And with this like white horse in the background, I feel like it's this very light conversation, like light energy, because you both are on so much of a similar plane, as it were, and it just feels really peaceful. Even if you talk about heavy stuff and all of that kind of thing, it feels soothing. It feels like a really soothing conversation, a really soothing talk. No one is running leaps and miles talking over the other person. It just feels really, really steady, like really rhythmic, is what I'm hearing. Like it just flows. Like emotion water, it flows. So let's see what they think of you at your first meeting. So they think of you as this Three of Wands. So I feel like they see your active waiting for and gathering of power for where you're going to plant that seed. They see you as someone who has got their eyes set on the horizon, very much like them in terms of your passions and your willpower, and you want a lot, and you have, and they see this, you have luck on your side. Like what you want to bring around, they're like, I have no doubt that their passion, their action is going to get them there. And I think they see you as someone who is very deeply intuitive, and again has gone through this kind of rebirth and this steady waiting, to come out of their, like we're talking earlier, their cocoon, their coffin, as it were, of the preconceptions of what they believed, and is searching for something different. And I think they just see your fire setting like blaze to the world in that way. Again, we've got more fire energy here, but maybe they just see you as, because we said they were pretty much like fire energy, they might see you as someone who is very fiery, combative, very much like what they want to do to the world, someone who just sets light, and there is this kind of flame that they're drawn to, but ultimately they see you as someone who can create the path that they want to, and especially because that's what they want to do for themselves as well. It feels like that mirror, and there is just this kind of this joy of like being open and knowing that the things that you want are going to come to you in a lot of ways, not in a really kind of egotistical way of being like, I'm going to get everything I want, but there's just this trust. There's this trust that what you want to happen is kind of on its way to you, and you're ready and open and receptive to whatever that is, whatever the grand plan is, as it were, because you're just like, I've gone through so much transformation already and I can keep transforming. There's more things on its way to me, and there's just this trust and faith in what's coming to you, that energy, because you know that you're powerful enough to receive it. Or maybe if you don't think all of these things about yourself, that is certainly what they think about you. And how you think of them at your first meeting is this Judgment card. And it's so interesting because we've been speaking about liberation and judge and judgment and all of this stuff. And in the Observer as well, we had that kind of not being judgmental of the external world, as it were, and feeling like, yeah, and feeling like more of an observer, and actually how the internal liberation and observing that, and observing what's going on in you and also in the actions of others, moves you further away from ego and that kind of thing. And I think you will see them as someone who, like they want to with this Judgment card, I think they are just authentically themselves and can, like we said, you both open your heart to one another, like show your true self, show your true colours. And I think you see them as someone who, with the Tower as well, kind of brings this kind of alarm bell to people, this need for change. And actually it feels like they step out of themselves and kind of really tap into their intuition or their higher purpose, as it were, their higher consciousness, to deliver messages. And I think they are just so aware of the world and all of the stuff in the Judgment card, like the compassion and fair distribution and all of this stuff, and they just want to help other people, really kind of want to, with this Queen of Pentacles as well, like mother the world and bring around security and stability for so many. And I think for you, meeting them, it's going to feel like, and we've kind of already said this already, but I feel like it's going to feel like a deep connection, like a soulmate connection, something that breaks you out and kind of feeling like, wow, this is flow, this is Romeo, as it were, like this is love, and this is kind of breaking the box out of because you've changed so much. This feels like the perfect change for you too. Like you feel that alarm bell of, wow, I realized by connecting to this person, seeing how like we are, how much reflection and how open and honest, that actually I've changed so much, and actually this is the energy that I want to be around too. And it feels like there feels like a higher calling here, and I think you hear it. You maybe, if you ask for signs and those kind of things, like maybe you see a sign or something, maybe they're wearing, maybe they've got they might not, but they might have a tattoo, or they may be wearing something like your sign, whatever that may be, or you may see it around, and it's just going to feel like, wow, that it feels really like scary synchronicities or something, and it may feel quite overwhelming, but obviously you might not let that show, but it just feels like, wow, we are connected in and just very open and honest to each other, and emotionally stable, really emotionally secure in who you are, and both of you, and yeah, just coming together, being and reciprocating each other's actions, give and take. It feels like not one person has to lead it. There's both this, that both people have this action forwards. And yeah, it feels like we had that Magic card. It feels like a really kind of, to sound really corny and cheesy, magical connection, a magical tie, as it were. So let's get you guys what earthly situations may come out of this relationship. So we'll just close some of the cards and we'll get some more. Okay, so let's have a look. So we have the World. I just got Feed the World in my head. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. The Feed the World. So, you know, maybe that's it. But no, I just think, so we've got the World, we have Seven of Cups, we have the Chariot, we have Knight of Pentacles, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Lovers at the end. So I feel like with this World card, we've got this kind of feed the world, but we've got this kind of completion, and obviously with the World we've got this map. So, and I said earlier, maybe there was like journeying across and that kind of thing, journey via water or whatever it is, and just seeing the world. But I really feel like you both want to conquer and do so much, and I feel like there is this healthy completion and wholeness here, and I feel like you both feel like home to one another, like no matter what distances you cross and that kind of thing, and no matter what things that you have to encounter, there is always this stability and this connection, like this grounding with one another. So no matter what pulls you apart, and with this confusing illusions place with this Seven of Cups, it feels like your dreams and ambitions for both of you are so large. You both have so many ways in which you want to watch over the world and change things and do things, and it feels like sometimes you guys will have this Chariot, this kind of stop, or like I think you might have quite a few obstacles that you need to overcome, that you really want to kind of champion and do so much, and it may feel like all of them loom so large and cast you guys in a bit of a shadow, all of these plans and grand ideas, because you both are visionaries. And with the Chariot, it feels like you really just want to trust, have faith, let go, see where it goes, and have this victory. And I feel like you are both going to support each other in all of your different things. I think we've got this messenger of slow and steady, and that's really it. I think slow and steady wins the race with this Knight of Pentacles. I think there's going to be persistence and dedication in all that you do in order. We had that Page of Pentacles earlier, and also that Queen of Pentacles. I think in terms of what you want to bring around security and stability in your relationship, but also in terms of where you want to go, kind of career-wise, or and that kind of thing, your security, your stability. There is just this need for setting that goal in mind and just plugging away, because there probably will be obstacles that you both have to overcome. With down that sucks place, the Five of Cups, I think there are probably going to be a lot of setbacks, not necessarily in this relationship. I feel like framed with the World and the Lovers, this connection is what grounds both of you and keeps you, because there's kind of that reflection, that mirror. I think you both help each other through any loss or setbacks emotionally that you may go through. And it may be just because with this Seven of Cups, you both wear your hearts on your sleeves and want emotionally to go so far and to help so many people, that if something doesn't come about for you in the way that you guys expect, I think emotionally that really takes a toll. And actually you both have to move towards stuff together as a team in this slow and steady. And with this Queen of Wands as well, obviously we had fire energy for them, but we've got supporter of ambition and business success. But it's just this just do it energy, this fire energy, that you obviously had that Three of Wands, and then they had that Two of Wands and that Elephant card. I just see this kind of like, you both emotionally go through, and I think you will go through so much together, but always there is this fire, this feisty energy which cannot be put out, no matter how much water gets placed on that, no matter how much stuff may go on, that maybe the losses and whatever. I just think that you will always build each other back up, and will always keep creating, keep doing. And you are both very good and distinguished people who follow their intuition, follow their gut, and ultimately with this Lovers card, we'll always make the right choice together, but also, like we were saying, there is that deep unity and connection with one another, which not only makes you feel like a team, and a team that will always move mountains together, like move all these obstacles away, but it doesn't matter if you do different things or if you have different careers and XYZ, and you do things in very, very different ways or whatever, but there is always that passion and that happiness, that connection there, above all. And even, yeah, like we were saying, even if there's roadblocks, like, it's not saying that you guys are never going to have an earthly argument about anything. I told you at the beginning, I was like, this could be very feisty energy in terms of, you know, like maybe doing different things and seeing things slightly differently. So, but ultimately, it's not ever going to overshadow the healing and the reassurance that you find in one another. And I think you both feel very liberated with one another, in terms of you realise that actually your external world holds, like your earthly world, because this is what we're looking at, holds a lot of possibilities and all of that, but actually together, internally, with that Observer card, you break out of so many boxes, and you continue to do that for one another. There's constant rebirth and transformation within both of you. Like, it feels like you just awaken to different things all the time. And with the Lovers as well, it's like, it feels like, again, that that kind of reflection of opposites and together. Like, I'm really hearing the story Plato wrote about, and I said about the silver thread for you guys as well, about, you know, Zeus was jealous of humans, so kind of struck them down and cut them in two, and we're constantly running around looking for our other half, as it were. And I just think that you both are kind of just brilliant energy, complementary energies, that it does feel like a bit of a jigsaw, like there's so many maybe differences, different ridges, all of that kind of thing, but actually it's the perfect complement to one another and in where you want to go. And I think you both are just on that horse with where you want to go, of your goals in mind. And yeah, I think you can just both support each other and trust and have faith, and always find that within each other. So let's see what your higher soul connection is. So what soul related things are here. So we have the Devil card, we have the Justice card, we have the Six of Cups, we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Pentacles, who obviously came up in them as well. We have the Hanged Man, we have the Nine of Swords, and then we've also got the Six of Swords. So I'm going to pop Six of Swords up there. So I think with so this is kind of your soul contract together. And I think with the Devil card here, kind of really near the world as well, and we've spoken so much about liberation, that kind of thing. I think you both just really want to cut through the illusions. I think you observe and see so much in the world, but also in what you guys do and who you are, and that internal reflection, that soul, that you just want to cut those chains. And it feels like you've both come to that thing of, what's the point of doing things that we're not happy about? We're much better just cutting through this illusion and doing what we love. And I really feel like with the Devil, that's what that is. It's, you don't want to chase, and I think you want to liberate other people from chasing things like sex, politics, all of that stuff, well, like money, riches, greed. Like, I think you just want people to, like, that is your thing. And justice as well has come up as well, liberator and judge. It's such a powerful relationship in the fact that you will both learn from the past, learn from past situations that you have been in, really observe, look at that, and internally look at that, how that's affected you and how that's kind of balanced your future, as it were. But you'll be able to make changes in the present moment to affect future outcomes. And I think that's the thing, you both are kind of these kind of gardeners sowing seeds for later success, as it were. Like, and there is, with this justice, this balancing. And I think because, like we were saying with this Five of Cups, things going on and obstacles to push past potentially, we've got this balancing, this kind of energy of, and we've also got the Six of Pentacles, which is also on scales. It's kind of, it's not taking on each other's load and that kind of thing. It's just, with so much change happening around both of you, it feels like you both are balancing each other out, because there is so much that you both want to achieve and do. And it's just that compromise. You're both willing to do that and give and take for one another. With the Six of Cups, this is a really powerful couple in terms of the strong roots that it has, the vibrant roots, the colourful roots. And I feel like this is also the card of happy memories. And in a soul level, I think you will feel very familiar in some ways, like we were saying, that open-heartedness and that kind of thing. But there is a lot that you probably will create and bring around and celebrate with one another and with your nearest and dearest. And it just feels like this, you'll always be challenging, bringing around new things and tipping the scale in other people's favors as well with this Six of Pentacles. Like, I think you both know when is the time to give to other people's energy. And with the Queen of Pentacles as well, again, we've got that kind of, we've got this good, distinguished person who will make a plan, who wants to bring stuff around, but there is this grounding and this nurturing. And this doesn't necessarily mean, maybe children are something that you want, maybe it's not, but I really hear, and obviously we had Feed the World earlier, I feel like you are both going to have so many earthly children in the way that you help so many and you affect the lives of so many, that actually you're almost going to put other people ahead of yourselves, because you want to liberate and bring around change and help people come to awareness and that kind of thing. And that is so powerful. And I feel like you both, because that is very it's very powerful, but you can feel like you lose yourself in your work or lose yourself in trying to be that nurturer to every person. So maybe if you don't have children, or maybe if you do with this person, I feel like you're going to have lots of children in terms of the world and what you want to do and affect the lives. Maybe one or both of you are teachers or something, who knows. Like, I feel like there are a lot of children involved, as in like children, as in people look to you both in that way. And with the Hanged Man, I think this relationship, this, again, the observer with the Hanged Man, I think I even mentioned this earlier, there's this kind of like surrender to observing and looking at the world and tipping the world on its head, and actually finding an enlightenment from this stillness and self-enlightenment. And I feel like it is this soul connection. It was always supposed to happen. It was always supposed to come about. And it feels like you're almost surrendering just to the enlightenment of this love, this connection, but also that, you know, you both see the world in such a different way. And I think it's a very similar way to each other, which is why there's so many deep roots and that kind of thing. And cups that you want to offer other people, emotions that you want to offer other people, and liberating in that way. But because not everyone will understand you both and understand your vision and all of those kind of things, that observer, how you see the world, there might be a lot of fears and anxieties that creep up for both of you. And it may feel like at times this feels very like, because you want to change so much and do so much, you almost feel like it's almost already too late. Like, I've got so much I want to achieve, so much to do. And it feels like you both because we were saying earlier, emotionally, how you both take so much on. You also take on probably other people's thoughts and their fears and their anxieties in this Devil card, because you've kind of freed yourself from it, but it doesn't stop you getting bogged down in everybody else's things. And with this Nine of Swords, I feel like you both, and the Six of Swords framing it, I think you both help each other journey away, leave the baggage, the thought baggage that you can leave behind in order to transform. And I think you guys are just kind of constantly evolve and help each other to calmer waters every single time, and keep pushing past those obstacles, because you are both very strong in mind, strong in emotion, strong in body, spirit, all of that stuff. And it is constantly that journey forwards. And again, we've got another journey by water, so maybe kind of like traveling to different planes and that kind of thing. But I just think the Nine of Swords, no matter what comes at you, this relationship on this soul level is to always ground you and realize that actually maybe not every single person understands you, but this person does. This person is a rock and actually balances you out and actually can move you away from the things that you don't want to do and keep challenging you to move forward. So let's also see, astrology wise, why you have met this person or why you will meet this person. So we have Scorpio, intensity, exposing, purging and renewing. We also have House 8, transformation, karma, facing fears, legacies. And we have Pluto, transform. So almost every single one is all about this transformation and also moving away from fears, anxieties, kind of the fears and everything that you thought that you could do, exposing that and purging your life of it. So it feels like you guys constantly go through cycles of renewal, cycles of change, and you both are the constant for that within each other. And it doesn't matter what you guys come up against in terms of this facing fears and the scary aspects of life that you both face, because with this soul contract, like, you guys are going to face it, but you're going to face it together, and there is strength in that. And I just think throughout all of your images and everything, we've had that butterfly crop up. Obviously you were represented by the butterfly earlier, and we've got these butterfly images here, and we've had all of this talk about transformation, rebirth, all of that. And in the Tower card there are even some butterflies for them, and I just think it is that you guys are both each other's cocoon in a lot of ways, and you'll come out stronger, fighting and ready to take on the world, and to to bring joy and liberation, and really stand for that and be that sign for others. So let's also get you some songs for this connection. So Spirit, what songs? My glorious friends of pile 1. So it could be the lyrics, it could be the song title, or it could be the artist. We shall see. So we have Can't Fight This Feeling, Rio Speedwagon. We've got When You're Gone, Avril Lavigne. We also have Her, Christina Aguilera. And like I was saying, I think, and also with this When You're Gone, I feel like there is, you guys are going to go through a lot of ups, downs, in terms of the life, the externals around you. But like we were saying, that mirror, that reflection, you'll always be able to reflect and look at each other and find that home within one another. And we've also got Drops of Jupiter, Train, which is one of my favorite songs. But I just think this When You're Gone, this kind of like, we've got that Five of Cups, don't we, that damn, that sucks place. But when emotionally things don't work out, and that kind of thing is how I'm hearing it. And with this Can't Fight This Feeling, like, we had that passion and that happiness card, like just this draw together through anything. So let's also get you some love affirmators 4 now. So we have listening. I will bring them closer and read them all out. So Spirit, for my lovely friend, what things? We've got warmth. So obviously some of you may already know who this person is, may be in a relationship with them, or you know, have a life together, that kind of thing. Or maybe some of you, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep shuffling because I only wanted one more. Or maybe some of you are yet to meet this person. So let's see what Spirit has advice-wise for you, no matter what stage of this relationship you guys are in. That one poked out earlier, and do you know what? I thought that one was for you, but put it back in and it popped out again. So there we go. That's the power, isn't it? So listening, I activate my receptive side and become an engaged, intuitive, professional grade listener. Observer. The observer card. Supercharged listening gives me the ability to not only hear the words others are saying, but also to perceive the emotions hiding between their words. Armed with this knowledge, I'll be in a great position to give them exactly what they need, or if I prefer, to dominate the planet. World domination, both of you, but also it's liberating, and yeah, I just love this. I love you guys. Warmth. I focus on warmth and let it guide all my interactions. No matter how others behave, I choose to respond warmly. With warmth, I can melt any icy exterior. I can soften any hard feelings. I can microwave any pizza. Today, I adopt the saying, kill 'em with kindness, and turn myself into a warm and loving serial killer. Support. I look at the vast network of support in my life and I'm reminded of what a superpower it gives me. At any moment, I can call on an army of top-notch people who want the best for me, which means I'm basically invincible. Take that, loneliness. Run for the hills, boredom. I'm sorry, what did you say to me? Pervasive, all-consuming anxiety? Damn right you didn't. So yeah, so I think you guys are just a support. And I think Spirit is saying, like, you are already where you're going in terms of the energy that you were at, and you are already breaking and supporting others and delivering warmth and being an observer, being a listener, and lean into your network, because you're not alone in your network and your support network of people. And the more that you kind of address these fears and anxieties and all of those kind of things, the box that you feel like you feel like you need to be in or whatever, the more you'll feel free from it. Curiosity. Meeting new people, I remember what a treasure trove of opinions, interests and stories they are, but these treasures will only be unlocked if I embrace my curiosity. So I'll be curious and you be interesting. Deal? So I think that's so interesting in terms of you have got so many opinions, interests and stories, as it were, and you would hope that every single person would see you as that, in terms of so much for them to glean, so much knowledge for them to learn about you, and you use that as well. Everyone sent to you is an assignment sent from the divine to teach you something. And you know, I think this person is here to teach you so much, but also you're both here to teach each other as well. There is so much transformation and curiosity of the world and where you both want to take it. And like I said, differing views, differing opinions, but that does not mean that it's not interesting and everything. But I love this warmth as well, because you guys are warm and giving people. So lastly, let's just get you some advice from the moon. So Spirit, what does my friend need to know from the moon card? Ooh, okay. So we have a time to gather rather than to take, new moon in Virgo. And that's what that 3 of Wands was, that they saw you as this active waiting, that energy of gathering power. And I think that is like that butterfly, that cocoon moment where you are kind of coming out. So maybe you've been in this cocoon of not that you've been taking a lot from people or anything, but you've been really leaning into your support network sort of thing, and now it's time to come out and bring your warmth and all of those things, which you are that person. And really, and also we've got Virgo, so like earlier, maybe you are an earth sign, but you don't have to be. But it just feels like you are a giving spirit, and you know that that is what you want to do now. You want to liberate and do all of that stuff. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. So like we had that 5 of Pentacles in reverse at the beginning, or when you'd likely meet this person, like, you are still forging your path. You have all of the free will, and you are the writer of where you want to go and everything, and you can set your horizons however far you want to, and trust and have faith that the universe will help you get there if it's leaning into your higher purpose. We also have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. Again, we've got air signs, so bring love to yourself. Like, I feel like, and also we've got you are good enough, full moon in Virgo, and I feel like, again, we've got Virgo on either side, but I feel like whatever you guys are going through at this moment in time, know that you are good enough to receive this energy, and know that we've spoken a lot about liberating and freeing and kind of breaking out of that box, and maybe you feel like, I'm not there yet, I'm not ready to, but just remember to lean into love, lean into the love of where you want to go, the love of your plan, and you know, nothing is set. You don't have to have all of the answers right now and everything. And if you feel like there's a lot of fears and anxieties for love or the future of where you want to go and all of that stuff, then make sure that you look at the world in that way of curiosity and love, and seeing every single thing that comes to you as an assignment, as a learning tool to break you out of that box, but also to keep transforming yourself, because innately that is who you are. Someone that wants to change, wants to evolve, and wants to, it's that, I'm hearing find yourself, but it's not that. It's not that you need to like find yourself and go on a gap year and, you know, travel the world in that way. It's not that. It's more that you constantly, and you vibe off of people's energy and kind of where the current of the world is taking you. And I think there is that kind of like free flowing of, if I feel it, that's where I'll transform and that's where I'll go. And just trust that anything that comes to you, you are worthy of and you are good enough for. And it is coming to you for a reason. So be open and receptive to this love, because if you are having doubts that, you know, whether you will have this love or anything like that, don't give it a second thought, my love, because Spirit is saying you give so much of yourself, you give so much to other people, and take is coming back to you. And, you know, maybe you've been in a period where maybe you have been giving a lot of your time and energy, and trust that there is this balance with the 6 of Pentacles. And this is really, in the soul contract, what you remember and what the higher purpose of this relationship is, of the understanding of give and take, and understanding that you can give, but you need to have a healthy take and a healthy realization that you are good enough to receive energy and receive the energy of love. So my glorious friends of pile 1, thank you for sticking with me, if you are still with me, on this momentous mammoth reading. I really hope it resonated. I'd love to hear in the comments if it did. I'm sending so much love to all of you. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you next time. Until that moment, hope to see you there. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of pile 2. So if you picked the green avatar star, then this reading is going to be for you. So let's get right down to it. Let's see what this connection ultimately brings, and also is kind of based on like what the foundations is. So we have got nature, we've got space, we've got illumination, we have got determination, and we've also got peace. So I feel like this relationship, it's just going to be a really natural, it feels like just a natural cycle. Like it feels like there's going to be peaks, like troughs, flows, whatever it is. Like it just feels like a natural cyclical thing. And there's not much more to say about it in that way, in terms of it just feels like a healing relationship in that way. And with determination, it feels like you will push past the obstacles, push past the harsh winters, and into that spring, that summer, that light. And it feels like you will move mountains together and climb them as a team and go towards where you need to go to with this space. And then framed by the illumination really beautifully, I feel like there is going to be spaces in both of you internally which maybe you haven't felt safe to travel to at that moment in time, or and that kind of thing. But there's going to feel like there, whatever fears and anxieties may be in this space card that haven't yet been confronted, this illumination brings forward and brings this kind of tranquility and peace, and this need to enlighten. Maybe if in terms of love, maybe both of you have felt like the harsh winter, have felt like not the real like sweet ripe fruits of love. It maybe you have, but some people maybe not. Maybe that resonates. And I feel like this, it feels like there's a space for this love, a space for something which maybe some of you may not have experienced in this way. And it feels like it dawns through and illuminates that space of what you were missing potentially in past partners or that kind of thing. But everyone is sent to you as an assignment, and those past people, yes, they may not have been the connection that for your forever person or whatever, or maybe they are, and this is actually a reading about them as well. But either way, they were sent to you to illuminate sides of yourself, the spaces that you weren't comfortable to go into, and ultimately to help you come to terms and find peace with them. But also with nature and peace, I'm hearing bird song and that kind of thing, and I just think that it's just such a beautiful, tranquil relationship where it just feels like you're constantly delivering these messages of peace and harmony to one another. And it feels like whatever you guys have to come up against, whatever like you have to set your sights on and you have to go for, you will always do it, like I was saying, as a team. And any obstacles that come your way, you will face them like that. And I think you're just aware that, you know, there's going to be space to grow. There's going to be space to grow within this relationship. Not everything is going to be sunshines and rainbows. Like, you're going to have to work for this connection and to find that peace and everything. But this is a connection where you feel like that isn't even work, that actually it's just something that you do. And maybe that's that kind of illumination, realization. And I feel like you are just going to both probably challenge each other as well. Challenge each other to face these spaces, the space that you want to enter into, or that kind of thing. But also with nature and space, I can also see maybe traveling maybe as something that you guys do, and maybe like finding new space, finding new turf for you guys to go on, and being in nature and all of those kind of things. I'm also hearing very, very wild individuals, like get wild, but just in terms of, I see like exploring the world with curiosity, in that childlike way of seeing everything with that magic, and seeing that as lessons and stuff to teach, and always just kind of being students to life, as it were, wherever it takes you. You're willing to learn, adapt, grow. So yeah, and no matter what, like I was saying, obstacles you have to face, there's always a way to kind of, if there's like heated arguments or debates or whatever it is, there's always a way to kind of bring peace back into the situation and that tranquility. And you're just ready to weather any storm that comes your way. You just know, both of you together, you're stronger than if you're apart. Because not that you're not strong individually, and I'm sure you guys will weather and have to use your determination whatever stuff happens in your life outside of this relationship, but you just know that there's always that grounding for you, that no matter what you have to confront, there's always that kind of, not even safety blanket, but just this energy which you can always return to. So it's very, very beautiful in that way. So let's get into your meeting. So your kind of first meeting for this connection in that way. So we'll look at you, what energy space you'll be in. So we've got engineer, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. We've also got owl spirit as well. In terms of tarot, we have got the Page of Swords, we have got the King of Cups, and we've got the Tower in reverse. And in terms of them, when they come to this connection, we have got Advocate, inspires you to put compassion into action. We have got Elephant spirit. We have Page of Pentacles, we have Death, Rebirth, and we also have the Eight of Cups. So let's talk about you first in this connection with this engineer. So ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And that's really framed beautifully by this Page of Swords, by this kind of unformed thought energy in a lot of ways, in terms of you challenge the way people think, and you just, it's not in a really harsh way in terms of like being judgmental of what's out there and that kind of thing. You're just like, yeah, give me an idea, I'll run with it. There's heavy air energy here, so maybe you are an air sign, a Libra, a Gemini or Aquarius, but you do not have to be, because we've also got this water here as well. So you could be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces, but it may just be in your chart, it may be placements, but either way, I think you're just a very astute person, and at the time of meeting, this is where you'll be. Maybe you're forming a new idea, and kind of being creative within yourself, because there is this as well, creative, artistic, expressionist individual too in this King of Cups. So someone who is really grounded emotionally, and emotionally thinks of all of the outcomes, and in whatever they're doing, to someone who feels like they follow their heart and is impelled to help other people in that way. And there is a lot of talent here, talent for recognizing, spotting, and also cheering on the underdog and all of those kind of things. And I think maybe with this owl as well, like there is this kind of intuitive knowing, like this deep gut, like maybe you feel particularly guided and that kind of thing, but you're just a treasure trove of a human who has so many thoughts, so many ideas, which you're like tiptoeing on. Like you're like, okay, I don't need to fully form every single thing at the moment. I'm just being free with what I want to bring about. And you just know, or you will be in this period of knowing that you have a great treasure, a great boon to bring in this really innovative way. With this Tower in reverse here as well, I think that there may be aspects of you or when you come to this meeting, to this time, where maybe you are sitting on something that comes about to you, this kind of sudden shock, and you're not really willing to upheave everything at that moment in time. Like the Tower is this kind of shock that breaks down conceptions and of what we've built and what we've done, in order for us to kind of realize that our foundation is still there, the core of who we are, and we can build ourselves back up. And I feel like there is a realization that this has happened because you are very astute and you have that, but there is this kind of unwillingness to let go of everything. And maybe that's like, I'm hearing past love relationships. Maybe there was someone that you were holding on to, or something like that, that you weren't quite, like, that felt like it was gone, and you know it's gone in a lot of ways, but there was still that lingering energy of, I don't quite want to let go of it. But you're not really confronting that energy. It feels, if it's not love, if it's something else, it just feels like there's this energy of it feels like kind of shadow aspects of yourself, aspects which you do not want to confront, and you're just trying to, with this King of Cups, kind of ground yourself emotionally and quiet those voices in order to try and do what you know that you can do and know what you need to do, and you're not really ready to focus the thoughts on it at the moment in times. Like emotionally, maybe you feel quite balanced in where that is, but actually there's a lot of things you're not confronting. But there is this innate wisdom and abundance in this owl, and I think you ultimately know about like this tower moment of what you need to do, but there's just something, and when you meet this person, there's just something that you're just not ready yet to confront. And maybe elephant over here is going to help do this, but not in like you're a damsel in distress that needs saving or anything like that, because you are not that person. You are an emotionally mature, stable, grounded person in this King of Cups, very artistic, expressionist, all of those things. But I feel like maybe it's soul patterns or something that you do you do know that you need to confront, but you're very busy in making this like creative energy into this practical expression. Like the card, like the engineer says, you're so busy creating and fixing and sorting other things that it's like you're not using those things on yourself. It feels like you're fixing other things, other people's things, or the wider world, as it were, but you're not quite ready yet to, you know that you need to do it. It's like on a to-do list. You're like, I know I need to focus on this and everything, but I just need to sort this out first. And yeah, like I said, I feel like because you know that this idea of whatever you've got is such a treasure trove and you are such an intellect, yeah, and you don't want anything to get in your way. In that way, in terms of like, you don't want to hold yourself back, is what I'm hearing. So ultimately, you're in a very, very powerful position, and with them over here, when you meet them, they are represented by this advocate card that inspires you to put compassion into action. And maybe that is because you are such a compassionate person, such a giving person, putting compassion into yourself, which is why I was saying, like, and King of Cups is very much an advocate for other people, impelled to help the wronged and the underdog, as it were, as well. Like we were saying, this engineer bringing about these ideas to help others. And I think they are as well, but they do it in a different way in terms of, I think you're both, and I would say spiritual people with this higher awareness, higher consciousness of the world and the universe and the gifts of the universe and everything. With the owl, like this is very highly linked to kind of clairvoyance, like clear seeing and kind of psychic abilities, but also like, but maybe you don't identify with that, but I just think you have this higher awareness of the grander plan, as it were, or just trusting and having faith that like you are in charge of your destiny and there are lots of options for you. And with the elephant, I think this person is this fire sign, and they go around the world, like you're a very strong feeler and thinker, like you put your dreams into reality. They are very much feeling, intuition, and that is what leads them in everything that they do. And maybe sometimes they can't quite like ground the plan. They just know that they have to like not impose this energy, is what I was hearing, but kind of bring this energy around and feel it. They have to feel it intensely, is what they do. But with this elephant, this is linked to fire signs, so it could be fire energy. So they could be a Leo, Aries or Sagittarius, or they could have placements. They don't have to be that, because we've also got some earth as well. So it's so interesting how we've got fire, water, air, sorry, I got that wrong. We've got fire and earth, and then we've got air and water, and it's just like all like, it's like the alchemy of life, like this temperance card, this balancing, like there's so many differences all mixed up here, but somehow it's like that nature card, it's natural and it kind of works. Like, it's with this elephant, it's someone who pushes past obstacles and trusts. And like, maybe this is why with this tower in reverse, maybe they help you see your obstacles, maybe if you can't quite see them, or whatever, or helps you kind of confront them head on and be like, we're charging ahead, we're doing this. But they are just very generous with their time, very playful, very friendly. And with the Advocate card, I just think of elephants like holding tails and like leading people. I just think they are a leader by what they do, their actions for the world. And I feel like you are a very kind of, like we were saying, astute, like logical thinker, but have this have these depths of stability, emotional stability, and it's all from a place of love and artistic creation for you. But they are very much like, I'm gonna show the world, like you can make plans and kind of strategize and that kind of thing, whereas they're just like, I'm just gonna do it and rush in. And with this Page of Pentacles, they may feel quite they've got like all of these different seeds maybe of things that they want to build and that kind of thing, and they're not quite sure. There is kind of unformed energy of where they want to direct it and that kind of thing. But it feels like they've just got a lot of like, they know who they are at their core, like you do with this tower moment. And they're just willing to see where it builds. And they're not afraid of transformation, of change. And with this Death Rebirth card, maybe they have gone through with this Eight of Cups, feeling emotionally like they've had to abandon some kind of success. Maybe they emotionally left a relationship, a kind of stagnant relationship where they weren't actually feeling energized and fueled by it, and they knew that they needed to walk away, but it did feel like they'd left so much at the same times in search for something else. It might not be a relationship, it could be a job. If it's, you know, this Page of Pentacles, it could be any kind of security, stability that they knew, and they just knew that they needed to be compassionate with themselves and move away and make actions towards something else, even if they didn't know what that was at that time, and that they couldn't keep drinking that water. So they're not afraid to reinvent themselves and start from the bare basics, which with this Page of Swords, even though you both are very strong in your core fundamentals of who you are and stable in that way, you're not afraid to kind of continue to break out the box and feel like and have fresh starts and move forward in that way. And yeah, I think it's like you're saying with the different elements that are all here, it just feels like it's a kind of, yeah, an alchemy, a coming together of very similar in some ways but very juxtaposing in others, in a real beautiful way where you both can kind of transform and keep moving forward for emotional security and growth. So let's see ultimately what this first meeting is going to be like. So we've got the Four of Cups. So with the Four of Cups, I think this meeting may feel like it's I'm hearing, like you're not quite seeing it as the emotional experience and growth that it is. Like, I think at the time that you meet, like you're both doing so much that actually maybe you're not even like looking for the cup, looking for that kind of healing and reassurance from somebody else, as it were. Like, it's not that you don't want it, like the hand's there, like there's a part of you, but I just don't think you really expected it at that time, especially if they may have recently left a relationship, or like we were saying with you, maybe there was that kind of like not really wanting to let go. But I think emotionally, like there's so much which you guys want to do and that kind of thing, and there's almost this kind of maybe disappointment in some areas of maybe not being further along than you hope you would be, even though that you know that you want to, both of you want to constantly reinvent and grow, and that means that you have to abandon some things and start again and all that stuff. But I think with the Four of Cups, it's all of these emotional opportunities are flowing to you, and they're flowing to both of you, but maybe you both just can't grab it and see it for what it is, and actually kind of acknowledge that there is emotional, like emotional kind of support there and opportunity for growth and all of those things, but you don't really see it as this like drink deeply Ace of Cups moment. You both see it as, oh yeah, this is great, but we're really different is what I'm hearing. Like, we're just, you know, whatever, we're doing our own thing, we're both looking at different things, but there is this kind of like one hand there, like, oh, maybe it's kind of like dipping toe in the water. So let's see what they think of you. We've got this Nine of Pentacles, so this is independence on top of this King of Cups as well. So I just feel like they see you as someone who is fiercely independent, growing their own thing, grounding their plan, and just has done so much. And again, that's this treasure trove, like so many things, like if we're talking about nature and all the seeds that planted sort of thing, has grown so much and has weathered so much and worked really hard for what they've got, and is just standing in all of the abundance that they have brought around into their world, and which is why maybe there's this kind of feeling of they're not even looking at me, looking at what I'm doing, not in that you don't appreciate them, but in that, wow, they are focusing on them and bringing around the change that they want to see in the world. In terms of career, I feel like there is this kind of, they see you as someone who is very career and stability and security kind of orientated at the time of your meeting, someone who wants to create this abundance and do it yourself as well, like very strong in that way. And how you see them is this Queen of Swords, which is so interesting because you're obviously represented by air signs and all of these things, and I think you see them at this meeting as someone who has a really interesting perspective, has a really interesting, and maybe you feel quite aligned in terms of making plans and that kind of thing. But I think you almost see them as someone who has, like, I think it's a very intellectual conversation underneath, maybe even about work and career and that kind of thing, but underneath there are these kind of like currents, these emotionals running, emotionals, that's a new word for me, emotions running, and actually with the Queen of Swords, it feels like you may even see them as someone who is very fierce in their thoughts and actually very practical and maybe a bit of a realist, which actually they are, like we're saying, much more feelings, like outwards and that kind of thing. So I think maybe you both get kind of, you're not really seeing this as a love connection when you meet one another, but there are undertones, which maybe because maybe if you meet through whatever circumstances you do, I'm hearing friends, but maybe not for everyone, or maybe kind of out wherever that is. I just think you're not necessarily, maybe even at work actually is what I'm hearing as well, for some people, but I don't even think you're looking for that. I think you're maybe looking for kind of the intellectual, like bouncing of ideas and that kind of thing. And I think you see them as someone who has just this really great judgment and can like make plans, bring them around into action and all of those things. And it's not that you get each other wrong or read it wrong, but you're just not seeing each other through the lens of like, oh, this could be an emotional growth, emotional opportunity, Ace of Cups moment. But obviously, as we know, this is soulmate connection, so we're going to look into what you guys connect on further. But I just think you guys were both not really, when you guys meet, in the space where you were like, I'm looking actively for love, for that connection, and somehow it just kind of comes about and moves forward. So let's see as well what kind of earthly situations you guys are going to encounter together, what that plan is from Spirit. So let's have a look. We'll get the next cards out. Okay, so we have got the High Priestess, We've got Grief and Sorrow Way, 3 of Swords. We have got Watch Me Work Avenue, 8 of Pentacles. We've got Joyous Home Gardens, 4 of Wands. We've got Passion and Desire Gardens, Ace of Wands. And we also have the Devil there as well. So in terms of earthly situations coming about, I think there is a lot of, with the High Priestess card, there's this really unconscious level of tapping into that intuition. And obviously we had the kind of King of Cups, and then we had the fire and everything. And I think it is really seeing that within both of you and yourself, and realizing that there is so much potential for growth here, things that you may not be able to see or know. And it feels like maybe it's not always going to feel stable in terms of the relationship. Maybe there are periods of separation and that kind of thing where you won't really see one another, or that kind of thing. With this Grief and Sorrow Way, I think there may be a lot of unrest in, like we were saying with the nature, the cyclical nature, the determination. Like, I think you guys are going to have to work for this relationship, work for it in that way. And with this Grief and Sorrow Way, I think because you guys are very different in some way, and maybe a lot of people put their thoughts onto what they think about the relationship and that kind of thing, maybe you both carry that emotionally, and maybe you don't express it to one another in that way, but it feels like you have to overcome a lot of sorrow from maybe at the hands of other people in terms of their opinions, their thoughts, and all of those things. And you have to work after these periods where you need to repair and all of those things. But also with the 3 of Swords, it could be, do you know, we had that Tower moment in reverse, and then obviously on the other side we also had that 8 of Cups. You guys have both experienced, by the time you guys come together, a lot of sorrow and grief, and that Tower moment of that kind of disruption and all of those things in your life, that there are a lot of things to heal and repair. And I think this relationship is helping you guys both in an earthly way work through those things and work through the thoughts of other people, and actually what people have projected onto you as opposed to what you actually think and feel. Because with this 8 of Pentacles, I think there is going to be, like we were saying, a lot of work in this relationship, as in like a lot of things that you will have to work together to do. And I think you're both going to be I think you're very driven in that way, in creating stability and that kind of thing. But it's something that you're both willing to put the hours in, because it brings this joyous home. This 4 of Wands, where this is a celebration of like-minded people, like a sanctuary of like souls. And I think there is, like, with Joyous Home and Gardens, this is, it may not be something that you're interested in, but this is festivity, celebration, weddings, that kind of thing, community and coming togetherness. So I do see that, like, there is this joyous home in one another, whether weddings and celebrations and that kind of thing are what you want, it doesn't matter. But that may not resonate, so leave that. But with this, I just think you are always going to find that, because you guys are both so driven in terms of your willpower, your passions and your desires, there is always going to be a home with each other in that way. Because no matter what is thrown your way, no matter what you have to work at, you are both doing it from from an area of this just do it passion and desires, and following that. And I think you'll always be able to connect in that way. So no matter what grief and sorrow or separation maybe that comes your way, for some people that may be a thing, that maybe there might be periods where you have to take a break from one another, but there is this kind of like reflection of knowing, like, you do have this illumination with one another. And actually, I think you don't know everything that the future holds for this relationship. And actually, I think you're seeing it as that assignment of, even if this person isn't my forever person, or like I genuinely think with this Joyous Home and Gardens and Passion and Desire that they most likely are a massive factor in your life for a very long time. No matter, it's not really about time scales for you guys. I think it's more as what can I learn, and I'm just always willing to kind of listen to my emotions, listen to my intuition, because it doesn't matter what other people think and feel about it, because I know what I think and feel about it, and I'm willing to work for it. And with this passion and desire gardens, I think you're just going to constantly be, like we were saying with that spring card coming, I think there's going to be constantly opportunities for you guys to follow your passions and desires, and that just do it energy, create, invent. And we obviously had engineer and advocate, constantly reinvent yourselves, reinvent what you want to do and where you want to work and all of those kind of things, and in order to make you guys stronger and all of those things. And I genuinely feel like no matter what comes your way, and with this devil card as well, if there's periods of time where it feels like you are either separated or you are chasing different things or whatever it is, that it feels like a boomerang for you guys. Like there is always just this kind of crossing of paths, crossing back towards each other. And with this devil, I think there is this need to kind of liberate maybe patterns of chasing the things that actually don't make your heart glad, and for them as well. And I think maybe if at one point you were chasing things, or because you guys are so giving, maybe if you give too much of your time to other things, other projects and stuff, there is this actual realization that that is an illusion of what you think you have to work for and what you think you have to do, and also the thoughts of others and what they put onto you. And actually I think it's kind of like, I'm hearing shadow work, and with that tower moment in reverse, I referenced it there too. And I think it's that realizing that there are these kind of light, joyous, brilliant things that bring you together, but also there are things that, demons as it were, that you both need to confront for yourselves, and there always will be for every single person, of preconceptions that you were given from way back then, or things that other people say and do. And actually, instead of them like creating a jail around you and feeling like an illusion, a bubble that you can't pop as it were, I think you both are able to liberate each other and actually realize that we can move past this. So, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of there could be self-doubt from one person or both of you at times, and everyone gets that. Everyone has those like crisis moments and everything, but I think there is just this unconscious like boomerang that brings you back and keeps you both bringing new things into your earthly world, even if that energy feels like it gets locked. There's always ways to break out of the box, break out and bring new life, breathe new life into it. So let's have a look at your soul contract. So we have the Five of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands, double Ace of Wands, we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the High Priestess again, and we have the Queen of Swords, and we also have the Fool. And obviously the Queen of Swords came up for them as well, of what you thought of them when you first met them. But with this Five of Wands, I feel like it is that thing of that Three of Swords. You guys realise actually the humdrum of life, everybody wanting to get their 2 pence in, their wills, their desires, actually that doesn't matter. Like what other people think, feel, like, yeah, okay, they can have their opinion, but actually it is a bit of an imitation, a bit of a sham. And I think it actually takes real strength for you guys to be like, no, we are doing our own thing. And I feel like that's why I was saying like maybe there's periods of separation and that kind of thing. And actually you realize that you guys are not like other relationships that you have been in, or what everyone else has potentially around you, because it is different, because it is a really natural connection. Not saying that they're not natural, but it has ebbs and flows, and you're not afraid of those things with this person. And with the Five of Wands, it doesn't matter what sham is around you, what imitation conflict is going on, like opposing wills and desires and everything. You will always have this just do it energy of, let's strike passion and desire, let's go for our desires and what we want to do. And I think with them being such that person, and you as like with that fire energy, I think because maybe they are quite impulsive and all of those things, I think they challenge a lot of the kind of maybe fears and anxieties and the things that maybe you feel like you want to lock up and everything like that. But as well, I think you actually bring love to this situation as well and see people through that lens of love. So maybe they, as a fire sign, is always quite like charging forwards, very fiery, like let's just do it, let's go do XYZ and all of this stuff. But you have this real ability as that kind of King of Cups energy to bring love into the situation and actually have that authority over the emotions and actually maybe calm them down in some aspects when they get a bit fiery and impulsive and all those things, but also that you can be practical and ground plans and make a plan for both of you to move forward. And I think it is just like with that alchemy, that that kind of bringing together of opposites. And with the Two of Pentacles, I think you are, like we were saying, going to be constantly evolving and getting new ideas and ways of bringing around security. And it feels like that is what you guys do, is balance each other out and see what works for you guys and what doesn't work for you guys. And with this High Priestess as well, calling onto this unconscious, like this intuition, there is just something which you just can't describe, which keeps drawing you back. And you guys are both a reflection of above and reflection of what you wanted, attributes in another person. And like I was saying, yes, it may be opposites, yes, it may be frustrating, all those things, and you will have to like balance each other out and kind of work for that. But I think you will have this kind of higher perspective as well with this Queen of Swords. It feels like there is just kind of this real healthy, like, what can we create, what can we do, and doing that together as a team. And with this Fool, this is really trusting and having faith that you're going to be caught and you carry everything with you, and it feels like there's going to be constant adventures, new beginnings. And with that transformation that we had earlier and that kind of thing, really being kind of like, we are just moving forwards all the time. It's like we're not going to get bogged down by the illusion or the things that we don't want to chase. We want to bring joy into any situation, no matter what other people think and these kind of things. And I think there is such a perfect blend here of all of the elements in terms of air, earth, fire, and with the High Priestess, it's kind of this water running through as well. That you're ready for any eventuality. You're prepared to leap, have faith, trust, pixie dust, and that you guys are gonna get caught. Like if you jump off that cliff together, I'm hearing you jump, I jump sort of thing. Like there is just this constant wanting to leap forwards, and yeah, challenge and keep journeying, keep wandering, and bring around this self-enlightenment. And yeah, it is really, really beautiful in terms of that, because you're not worrying about what other people think. And that's the thing I say to all my friends when I do like love readings for them as well, is like, you know what has been said and done between you both, if you haven't met this person yet, but you will. It doesn't matter what other people say, and maybe sometimes it gets to you more than you want it to and that kind of thing, but there's always this, I know this person inside and out, who they actually are. They show themselves to me, and keep challenging me, keep bringing around new things for our relationship. And there's constantly this kind of reinvention and creativity here, but ultimately you know them on this unconscious level, where maybe some people see them in a bit of a mystery and don't really understand what's going on or all of the things that happen. But you do know, you have this strong thought and strong idea and strong connectivity of each other, and and it's unsaid. You don't need to talk about it. It is natural, like we had at the beginning, and new beginnings are natural as well. Like, I think whatever needs transformation, whatever kind of cycle ends for both of you, you're not afraid to leap forward and find a new way and find a new path, even if it's not carved out, or even if it feels like you're going against the grain of what other people think you can do. So in terms of your astrology, of why this connection is about and all of this stuff, so we have Cancer, nurture, comfort and protection. So I think you are just going to nurture the best parts of each other. And also there is this kind of, with that protection, it's so interesting. Protection maybe against things that don't make your heart glad. Maybe if it feels like you slip into patterns, or they slip into patterns together, of chasing things that, because out of necessity of trying to create stability and stuff, like falling on things that don't make you happy. Like there is always this, like this bringing back and trying to bring love back into the situation. And also with that King of Cups from earlier, with maybe if you're a Cancer sign, maybe this is your sign as well, that this is definitely yours. But if you're not, don't worry, it could just be that King of Cups as well coming back up. But I think you both, with Advocate as well over here, you both nurture people, and you both want to help people in different ways. And I think ultimately you are going to do that for one another. And I know we've spoken about grief and sorrow and separation potentially and all of those things, but actually there is such a team, there is such a joy here, and such passion, and that is, it's natural, like we were saying with cycles, ends and beginnings and everything. And actually there is comfort here, there is a connectivity which is which doesn't feel like it should work, but it does. And I think that's why so many people have their thoughts and opinions about it. We also have House 7, profound relationships, intimacy and romantic partnerships. And then we also have Venus, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. So these are just so beautiful, because in so many ways, like it is just a very profound, loving relationship. And with this kind of give, receive love, this Two of Pentacles here for the soul contract, the soul level of it, it feels like we were saying, with that balancing out of needing to bring around different things, see how it works for you, that kind of thing. I think you always find, no matter what you're trying to balance out in terms of earthly or anything like that, no matter what you're trying to grow stability wise, there is always just this kind of value in each other, and you can always just see the beauty. And I'm really hearing as well, seeing each other in the lens of love and seeing each other with fresh eyes all the time. I think you just keep, it's like a well, like we were saying with the Ace of Wands, a well of new passions and desires. Like so much energy keeps coming around, and you keep growing and learning together. And there is so much, because you go on such a journey together, so many new beginnings, so many phases and everything. There is that intimacy of knowledge of someone who knows you so well, who has seen you do so much and transform in so many ways, and there's so much comfort in that. So let's also get you some songs for this relationship. So it could be the lyrics, the artist, or the title of the song as well. So let's get some. Get one more as well. Great. So we have Love the Way You Lie, Eminem and Rihanna. And do you know what? With that grief and sorrow, as soon as I saw Love the Way You Lie, I think that's probably going to be like the lies around your relationship, as in, like, not necessarily that this person will lie to you, but like the lies of what other people think and say, and all those things that you have to confront, like, together. I just think, yeah, that's much more what I see from that is is you both rising above that of what you feel like people want to say and do. We've got All About You, McFly, which, I mean, just such a great song, such a cute song. And I think that is it, like I was saying about that boomerang, like it always just comes to this profound relationship, this love. And I think if you have to work hard for it and you have to change and see, maybe if you have to balance loads of different things, like balance and compromise, you're still like, this is the connection, this is who we are, we'll make a plan, we'll do it together. We've got Kiss Me, Sixpence None the Richer, which again is such a cute song. And we've got Everywhere, Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, I feel like anywhere you need to go, everywhere, as in new beginnings, no matter what you have to do, no matter where you have to go, no matter if there's separation or whatever, I think there is just this ultimately sweetness. And like I was saying, like it feels like a first love in ways of how you act with one another, in terms of how you see each other, because you're just learning and evolving. And everywhere, anywhere you guys have to go, or anything you have to do, you'll make it work. And I think that's the thing about this relationship on this soul contract level. Like, there are going to be things that get thrown at you, obstacles and things that you need to balance out and see which one works and whether it's going to work. But you will always ultimately make a plan, and you won't be afraid to start something new if it benefits both of you. And you'll just see and make it work, because you want happiness for each other and one another. And you want to nurture the talents of the other person, because you both have so much you want to achieve and so much you want to do. Yeah, and it's so beautiful. So let's see, this is some love advice for you. So Spirit, what does my friend need to know? And like I say, like, you may have met this person already, you may be in a relationship with them, or maybe you haven't, but this advice is just like advice for wherever stage you are at within this relationship, or not yet currently. Okay, so we have giving. I welcome the idea of give and take in my relationships, and I eagerly practice the give part. By giving freely, I discover just how fun giving really is. Giving my time, care, attention to someone else actually gives me good feelings, which make me want to give even more. Wait a sec, does this selflessness make me look selfish? Be honest. Yeah, making sure as well, like, obviously this card is about giving, but make sure that you are receiving the same back in terms of this take and everything. Not even just love, I think just in, like, when we were looking before with that Tower in reverse and things, and you give so much as this kind of engineer of wanting to give so much of your time and energy and everything. And yeah, that's brilliant. And by giving to other people, you feel like that fuels yourself and fuels your emotions and makes you feel stronger and all of those things. But make sure that you take the time for yourself as well. We've got ownership. I take ownership for how I make others feel, and I do my part to repair any bridges I might have burned or perhaps even slightly singed. If bridge mending feels impossible, then I can start small. Instead of becoming a bridge architect, maybe I'll just skip the bridge and walk the long way round. Taking ownership is great for burning calories. Yeah, and I think, you know, we've spoken about burning bridges and kind of repair of relationships and things like that. But yeah, just taking ownership for who you are as well. And I think you're very aware of everything that you have and all of that stuff. So reliability. I am reliable. When I say I'll do something, I take whatever that something is seriously. This applies to all commitments, even the ones that may have seemed small and insignificant to the less reliable me. From now on, flaking is just for dandruff commercials and cereal factories. We have boundless love. Today I'll open my eyes a little wider and walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it's easy to fall in love over and over again with everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else falls into place. I love that. That is, again, like that childlike curiosity, seeing the world as natural cycles, everyone as an assignment, and seeing it with love. We've also got perspective, which you are an absolute bomb at perspective with that owl. What does a hawk see when it flies over your house, besides the family of mice living nearby that you don't know about? What will your current problems, conflicts, complaints look like when you're 80 years old and you gaze back on the timeline of your life? In this moment, you are being given the gift of clear perspective, of knowing that in the end, everything is going to be probably much better than okay. Think large enough and even big issues will become small. Become an 80-year-old hawk and you're really onto something. And I love that with the Four of Cups imagery was coming back to me of not necessarily seeing the perspective of the relationship when you guys first meet, of not really seeing the love undertone sort of thing. And that's absolutely fine. Live moment to moment in moment to moment gratification, and know that there are so many gifts that are coming to you, and actually you are where you're going, and this is based off the current energy. And if this is what you want to receive, like, trust that this energy, this loving relationship is coming to you, and that you are fully deserving of that. And in the timeline of your life, if that Tower moment in reverse struggles that you're going through, which feel very real and are not to be skipped past, but trust that there is a reason, there is a learning tool, and actually it's giving you a higher perspective of moving forwards as well, and making you stronger, and helping you be an engineer and spotting different things and everything. So let's see as well. Let's get you some Moonology cards. So Spirit, what else does my friend need to know? Okay, so we have emotions are running high, supermoon. So okay, expect powerful change, new moon, eclipse. Okay, yeah, so I think emotions will run high for this relationship, and changes within you as well. And like we were saying, like, there will be this constant kind of, oh, I'm not going to take all of you, sorry guys, I can't, I don't want to keep pile 2 for longer than they for all the cards in the deck, but no, I think there is so much change coming for you, and together, like, you are reinventing stuff. You're very close to achieving your goal, so, and with that emotions running high, I think this is closer than you imagine it to be, with the perspective. Like, maybe if you've been worrying about love and that connection coming in, like, I think you're much closer. You're in that energy to receive it much more than you think. Nothing is yet set in stone, and like, that's the thing. I think you have the ability, and you have free will. You can change your circumstances by actions in the present. And maybe if you feel like this is a really, really long way off and all of these things, like, actually nothing is set in stone, and nothing is a path which you have to walk. Like, you have the power to change and to bring around the goals that you want to bring around. And we also have your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And this is kind of this meeting things halfway as well, like taking ownership of the things that you need to do, and also the giving. Like, the universe wants to provide you with things, and wants to give you this energy, wants to give you this Ace of Cups energy. But like we had that Four of Cups, if you're not actually kind of wanting to receive it, or you do want to receive it and you're not actually making practical steps to do that, like, it's like that thing of like, wanting anything, wanting like a good grade or whatever, and not actually studying. Like, you have to meet it halfway. Like, you'll have great resources and knowledge within you, but if you really want that thing, then you've got to rise up to meet the challenge, as it were. And with this reliability, like, if you are committed and you want this goal, trust that you will work for it, and you'll meet it halfway. And maybe at the moment with love, you feel like it's being on the back burner a bit, or you feel like you're not ready to receive new energy. But as soon as you decide that, actually, I'm going to allow my emotions to lead, it's going to feel like your plan comes together much quicker than you realize. So my glorious friends of pile 2, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. I really hope it resonated. I hope there was some useful advice in there as well. Any questions or comments, please do let me know. I love reading them in the comment box. I am sending so much love to you. If you would like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hello there, my glorious friends of pile 3. So if you picked the Moss Agate Moon, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's see what this soulmate connection is based on. So we have transmute, we have energy, we have happiness, we also have intuition and magic as well. So I feel like with the transmute card, this is a connection which is able to turn dense energy into lighter, freer working energy. And it doesn't mean that you guys will avoid hard truths and anything like that. It's not that in any way. It's actually that you will bring magic and listen to your intuition, and maybe you guys are both very spiritual in some way in this connection, or you just understand the energy and how you bring and you will get out what energy you bring, sort of thing. Like, where intention goes, energy flows, is what I'm hearing for you guys. And I feel like you are both very instinctual, intuitive people who, even if you don't use that, who are kind of, I'm hearing light workers as well, people that bring magic into the world, but are able to kind of shed light and bring joy and happiness even into the tougher things that you have to go through in life, and always manage to find, there's just these rare people and who can just bring energy no matter how depleted they feel, no matter what it is, who are just magic in that way, who can keep going, keep pushing through and seeking joy. And ultimately that's what you guys are. You guys are radiators to the world, both of you. There's that saying, people can be radiators or drains, kind of drain energy or feel like they take a lot of energy in and can't move past it, sort of thing. But you're able just to really kind of, both of you in this connection, whatever comes your way, you're able to just kind of get on top of it. It may shake you at first and all of those things, but you find the happiness and the magic and the curiosity in the situation and in life and the lesson that it's there to teach you. And also with the transmute card, I mean, this is the scarab beetle, but I always think of like bees, and I know that it's not in the card, but I just like I saw bees when I shuffled it, and I just think of, but also scarab beetles have wings as well, so that's fine. But I just think of like that lightness, that kind of like going from thing to thing and just trusting your intuition where that is, like finding the scent as you travel, and doing it for the joy of it. With this happiness card, I think this relation just is based on that, is finding the good feels, finding the magic in the world, the magic in each other, and putting that energy into the connection as well. It's like no matter what comes your way and everything, and yes, there's external things that you may need to combat together and all of those things, but on a really intuitive level as well, on an unconscious level, you're willing to pour that energy. And even if not everyone else in the situation can see it or that kind of thing, you see the magic in each other, the potential, the gifts that you both give to the world, and you just want to celebrate life with one another. And I think if someone is feeling depleted or their energy feels a bit zapped for whatever reason, I think the other person, and it's very much a balancing, is there to help them make light of it and always tells them to kind of just do it. With this intuition, I get this kind of, both of you have so much courage and willpower to go after the things that you want, to go after the things that make you feel happy. And with magic, maybe, like I was saying, maybe there is this kind of spirituality, this heightened awareness. Maybe you guys are brilliant manifestors. Maybe one of you it is into kind of spirituality and all of those kind of things, and really sees the magic in that way. And maybe the other one doesn't as much, but actually doesn't realize how powerful a manifestor they are, or actually how capable they are of tapping into that energy, is what I'm hearing potentially. But this just seems like, above all, a really joyous connection. And that doesn't mean that it's easy, but it just means that ultimately that's what you guys find in one another and in love, or you come to learn in love, that that's what is the most important thing, that actually it doesn't matter what the energy of the situation, the externals, you know internally that if you are happy and you see the magic and you listen to your intuition and your creativity and where that wants to flow, and kind of trust and have faith in that, then it's going to bring you results, and your world's going to reflect that too. So that's kind of how the connection, what you guys are really drawn together on. And it is just that ability to learn from difficult hardships and situations, and make light, see a new perspective, and see the magic in it and the lesson that it is there to learn, and not get bogged down in the energy that doesn't serve, and you're able to move forward. And that's what you'll like continue to learn as well in this connection. You may be able to do that just by yourself and everything, but maybe it's quite refreshing to see someone else do that too, or in a love connection or whatever. So now we're going to see what your first meeting, so when you meet them for this connection, what the energy is going to be like, so, or where you're going to be. So this is you over here. So we've got Prince, romantic charm and potential for power, and we also have tarantula spirit. In terms of tarot, we have got the Four of Swords, we have got the Knight of Pentacles, and we have also got the Ten of Pentacles. And then for them over here, we have got Poet, expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and we've also got raccoon spirit as well. I love already like the imagery of the light and the dark, and it doesn't necessarily mean raccoon is this like mysterious dark figure, but it's just so interesting in terms of what we're talking about, that the energy, and I think you guys balance energy out in that way. So we also have for raccoon, then we've got Knight of Cups, we have got the Ace of Pentacles, and we have also got the Fool. So let's firstly look at you. So with this Prince, the romantic charm and potential for power, I feel like this is very much the Knight of Cups energy as well. So I think you guys are both going to be quite equal on this in that level, but it's being open and receptive to the idea of love and the idea of what you want to bring about. And it's that kind of manifesting the dreams, the life that you want, and knowing that you are worthy of receiving that energy, and that you are in a position to take the power that you can bring about for yourself. And with the tarantula, this is energy that comes to us, and you will be in this place of this energy when you meet this person, of when you are kind of, it feels like you'd probably be at a bit of a crossroads in your life in some ways, but you are this kind of wisdomous teacher who is ready to move past any obstacles, and you're kind of ready to follow your intuition. We had that intuition card earlier as well, but it's following that fire, following your passions, your wills, your desires, seeing where that takes you, and trusting your gut, and trusting that you are going to get through it as well. And with the tarantula spirit, and we've got fire signs, so potentially you're a fire sign, so you could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. But then we've also got, in terms of tarot, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and obviously we've got the Ten of Pentacles as well, so there could be earth placements here as well. So in terms of earth, we could be looking at a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but you don't have to have those placements as well, because we've got a bit of air too. But I see that this person, well, you when you sorry, you, not them, you, when you're at the start of this connection, I think with the Four of Swords, you weren't always this realizing your potential for power and your innate wisdom, I don't think. And I think maybe at sometimes you you doubted yourself, maybe doubted yourself of whether you were capable of that love or whether you were deserving of that love, I'm hearing for some people. But with the Four of Swords, it feels like you took this retreat to sort out your thoughts in a lot of ways. It feels like you, when you meet this person, like you were in a period of, I'm hearing for some people, and this may not be for everyone, but maybe there was a situation in love where it felt like there was kind of a death to your thoughts in a lot of ways. Like there was a lot of sorrow, there was a lot of grief, and maybe there was a third party situation for some people. But it feels like for a lot of you, there was a lot of unrest, a lot of uneasiness, and maybe it was love that wasn't reciprocated, maybe it was unrequited, or on either side, or potentially it was someone who, you know, you were really, really close to, and like whatever happened, I felt like it was a really big disruption in your life, and you needed that time to go away and kind of put your thoughts back together, as it were, and actually repair the damage that not only happened with your like in terms of your mental, like your thoughts, but also in terms of your heart, because actually your heart was hurt in this process, in the process of this situation. And with the Knight of Pentacles, it feels like you were like, I know that I may not be ready for love right now, but I am ready to build myself up and create myself make myself a stable, secure resource for me and my future me. And I think with this Knight of Pentacles, I feel like it was like, I am just going to put the sight of what I want, my goals, and this is where the magic manifester comes in, put the sight of where I want to go, what I want to manifest and bring about, whether that's in career or stability or security or whatever that is, in the GPS, in the forefront. And I'm just going to work towards that. I'm going to be open and receptive to the energy that comes to me and dedicate every minute to walking towards that. And this, again, heavy earth energy here, but it's really keeping the goal in mind of where you want to be, of this family, of this kind of stability, security for your family and for everyone in your community, and really just a massive commitment to you, and knowing that you are worthy enough and deserving. And that doesn't happen overnight, especially after what you went through in terms of potential sorrow and grief. But you were at this crossroads where you realized that you could either walk down the road that you were treading on of holding that pain and everything, or you could heal yourself, heal those thoughts, heal your body, your mind, your spirit, and actually take those experiences, not allow them to rule you, but move on this new path to realizing that you are worthy and you have so much power to bring about the circumstances that you want, even if you can't quite see how it's all going to fall into place. But actually on your journey there of plugging it into your GPS, actually you became such a stable, secure person, even though your goals weren't fully realized, because we're always making goals and achievements of where we want to be, but by aligning towards them, you actually created so much more power for yourself, which is why this kind of Prince archetype comes out with this romantic charm and potential power. It's like it feels like you almost fell in love with the charm of life again. And that's kind of that transmuting card of like taking the experiences and making them lighter and kind of finding a new perspective. And with them, and where they are when this connection, when you guys arrive at this connection, we've got Poet, so expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and we've also got Raccoon. So obviously I was like the darker energy, the visionary. This is really creative energy, but also someone who will sacrifice a lot for their art and what they believe. And obviously with the Poet as well, I get this very really heavy, like charismatic, artistic, silent type. Maybe they are a musician or a poet or actor or whatever they are just creative innately, and they can bring things from darker places, that denser energy, like soul insights, like darker things, into a forum where people can connect on a level which not everyone can do. And that's transmuting, is going to those darker places and coming out with a message and an insight, which is a beautiful, beautiful gift. And this is a generous soul as well. And in terms of signs, we've got earth, but we've also got water here. So earth, we could be looking at a Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. And also in terms of water signs, we could be looking at Scorpio, Pisces or Cancer, but they do not have to be. It may be placements in the chart, or it might not be. It's more just the characteristics. And with the Knight of Cups, it's so similar with this Prince. Like I said earlier for another group, like this is the Romeo of the tarot, which is something I've never used before, but I love it, and I'm going to use it again for you guys. And with the Knight of Cups, I think they're at this period of, because they have to be so expressive and bear so much of themselves and their soul and wear their heart and go to those dark places, but also bring it back and be that artistic visionary. And emotionally, like, it feels like you, in a lot of ways, you were very much focused on your greater sensational world, like in terms of plugging that into a GPS and being like, that is what I'm moving towards, is all of my manifestations coming into you were like, if one thing's changing, everything's changing, and kind of plugging that in and all of your goals being realized. And for them, I think they were open to they were just open in their heart, and in terms of plugging that into their GPS, like finding that healing, reassuring energy, and that's what they were really, really looking for. And with this Ace of Pentacles, I feel like, obviously we've got the Ten of Pentacles here too, and obviously this is you being in this like secure stability structure. And with them, I think they were kind of like just ready to offer their commitment and stability and energy. And this is really like this seed of an idea, a seed of sensation and security, and seeing how that grows. And I think you were in the position where you were like, my garden's brilliant, like as in you will be, or if you've met this person, you were in this position where my garden is full, like I've got so much that fulfills me, I've got so many things I'm growing. And this person was like, can I plant my seed in your garden too? In a lot of ways, but not in that, but, well, maybe in that way, but I'm not gonna go there. But like with this Ace of Pentacles, it's kind of like, oh, let's, like, this is the, like, I think they were just open and ready for whatever grew. And in terms of, that's where they were in their life, they were ready to make that commitment and share themselves with someone else, because they knew that they had a lot emotionally to give at the same time. Like they, with this Fool, like they were ready to jump in and have faith and leap forward, even if they didn't know where that road was going to take them. And they carried everything with them, all of their experiences and their knowledge, but they didn't let them rule it. And that's that thing of being a visionary and a creative and seeing people with fresh eyes and seeing the world through the lens of a poet as well, like seeing the beauty of life, which we spoke about so much at the beginning with that transmute connecting card, of seeing the magic in the world. And that as well, that is the beauty of both people. I think both of you bring that energy in such a glorious, glorious way. And I think with Raccoon, with them, they are not afraid to jump out of their known security and into new things and follow their intuition and their gut as well. Even if they can't see the path or the net, they'll jump and then trust that the universe has got them, and like spiritually they're gonna find peace and reassurance. So yeah, so that is where you both are in terms of when you come about into this connection. So let's next see what your first meeting is going to be like. So we have the High Priestess card. So with the High Priestess for your first meeting, again, really intuitive, And I think that is like, maybe spirituality is something that you guys talk about or that kind of thing, but I just think that you guys connect on such a high level in terms of that transmute, like, high energy. And because you are both very kind of artistic, creative types, or follow your intuition and that voice, I think you're both going to feel it on an unconscious level, like just something draws you both together, something unexplainable. And I feel like the High Priestess is all about like this reflection from above, and maybe this is a reflection of both of your manifestations of what you were looking for. You see a lot of that in one another, but also looking at other, like, each other's experiences and where they've been, and kind of realizing that you both have a lot of energy and a lot of experiences to share with one another and to push each other further and all of those things. And it feels quite mysterious, and maybe at first you think it's a bit of illusion, like, am I actually feeling like this? Because you're so used to following your gut, you're like, oh wow, like this is weird, I've not felt this before. But it feels like you, on an unconscious level, feel like you almost know each other from wherever that is, and that really runs through it. And this is really that yin energy, that internal energy of the unconscious, feeling like it's alive, but like I said, shrouded in a bit of mystery and not really sure where this door's going, but wanting to explore the depths further and follow this connection wherever that may be. So how they thought of you. They saw you in this Seven of Cups image. So with the Seven of Cups, I feel like they could see how many dreams and ambitions that you have emotionally, how much emotionally you want to do, and explore is what I'm hearing too. And maybe they were like, wow, their dreams and ambitions loom so largely, like, where am I actually going to fit in? Like, where am I going to be? And I think they were just kind of like, wow, all of this, all of what they want to bring about, like, how are they going to do it all? But I think they just saw like the ambition within you. And again, with that prince underneath there with the romantic charm and potential for power, I think they saw how powerful you were and how stable you were and all of these things, and how much you were able to transmute that energy and bring about what you wanted. And there was just this undeniable faith that you were going to get to where you wanted to go. And I think they were just like, wow, this person, like, they must. And I think with this High Priestess as well, like, there is this kind of follow your heart, intuition, spirituality of, they believe and they know that they are going to be presented with the path that they needed, even if at the moment there are just loads of paths and they're not actually sure which one they're going to land on. They know that they're going to get there. They know they'll find that intuition, that, because it tarantulas at that crossroads, remember? So maybe they're like, oh, they're at a bit of a crossroads, but there is no doubt that they are going to find their way through and ground whatever they want to ground. And then in terms of how you saw them, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is this really glorious independence card. Someone who has grown so much. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, like, it's so interesting. I think you saw a lot of maybe yourself in them in terms of they are just a really independently strong person who has brought around so much and has grown so much. And with this Ace of Pentacles, it's so beautiful because it's like Ace and 9 equals 10, which is you in a lot of ways. But it's just, I think they saw how much you'd grown and how much you are continuing to grow and how much you weed out and bring about new things, and how dedicated you are to any task that you are doing, and just how like opulent your life is, how you can just enjoy the fruits of all, like, of your labor and everything, and how you have just trusted that your power, your innate power, is going to get you to where you want to go. And I just think they see you as someone who, in terms of career and stability and all of those things, or just, I mean, this is the sensational world, so stability, security, but also the knowledge of who you are as well, and the knowledge of what you are and what you bring and what you want to grow and what you want to bring about. That is just very strong, even if, like, there's still this ace still continuing to want to grow things. But I just think there is this beauty that you've already done, and even if you, like, in the first meeting, you will see that they have grown so much and they are stable on their own and they are independent, but I think you see that their heart is open to something more and to more opportunities, because that's innately who they are, someone who wants to keep growing, keep evolving. So we are now going to look at what your earthly situations with this person, what kind of earthly things are going to come up. So let's have a look. Just cleared the table out of those ones and put these ones on. So we have the Death card. We have Happily Fulfilled Place, the Ten of Cups. We have Justice. We have Development of Information and Contracts, the Page of Swords. We have Conflict Gardens, Five of Wands. And we have Perseverance Gardens in reverse, the Seven of Wands. So with your earthly situations, I feel like you guys are going to be going through a lot of transformations and rebirths, and maybe a lot of like, obviously everyone goes through, in every aspect of their lives, loads of transformations, loads of changes. But I think no matter what it is that you guys go through, whatever you have to do, that dense energy, no matter what you have to bring about or change, you do it with the full heart and the love and the happy community that you have with one another, the happy family, as it were. And happy family looks different for everyone. Some people, I mean, with the Rider-Waite deck and Rider-Waite Smith illustrations, it's, you know, a rainbow with children and parents like singing, dancing under a rainbow sort of thing. But that is not for everyone, children and that kind of earthly situation. Maybe for you it is, maybe for another person watching it's not, but whatever it is, I think there is just fulfillment in where you guys are emotionally, and there's always this emotional ability to communicate, be open, and there is just stable roots here, because you both come to this relationship with that level of independence and that level of, I'm ready to work and I'm open and receptive to this, like, to the power of this love, essentially, because you had that Knight of Pentacles working towards what you wanted. They had this Knight of Cups, and also you were both linked by that High Priestess in your first meeting. So it's like just trusting and having faith that even if you can't see the road ahead, like, you've got this love and you've got this person for a reason, and that's what you rely on. And you see any changes, any need for rebirth as a way of connecting further, connecting on a deeper level, and making it lighter, and just seeing the magic of life, the magic of working together. And with this Justice card, it feels like, well, I hear a couple of things. So with the Justice card, I feel like you balance each other out in a really, really healthy way and a lot of things. But also there is whatever's happened in the past, whatever seeds you've sown in the past are going to affect what's happening in the current energy, sort of thing. That's the way it works. And I feel like you, through this relationship, through this Justice card, I feel like there's a lot of things which we had that Four of Swords for you before, of a past relationship and all of these things, and that is karmically, this relationship is karmically your justice for that in a lot of ways, and also your rebirth from that period. But also with the Justice, it's teaching both of you, and I think you both feel the effects throughout your life, that whatever you put into this relationship, and I feel like you guys are both willing to put a lot, you are going to get out leaps and bounds. And not everything is going to be easy sailing. Not everything is going to kind of feel like it is gonna flow. But you know that if you plant good seeds, if you have good intentions and you change the way that you behave, and through learning of the past and what happened, you can affect the future. We've also got this Page of Swords, so I feel like you guys are just going to be really good sounding blocks for the other person. And with this Page of Swords, we've obviously got development of information and contracts, and maybe that is developing ideas and stuff like that together. But I see you both as very independent people that come together and share your ideas, share your resources, and help each other expand, evolve, challenge each other's ways of thinking. And with this conflict gardens, I mean, I feel like you guys are going to have a lot of opposing wills and desires in what you want to do and what you want to bring around, where this Justice card comes in, that need for balance. But you're willing to talk about them in a healthy way of, okay, let's look at each topic of conversation and let's work through it. Because with this, and ultimately with this Perseverant Gardens in reverse, I feel like this is standing on a hill, like batting other people's wills and desires away. And I actually think that you guys are going to realise that you both are just very passionate, caring people who want to follow their intuition and their guidance. And sometimes you're not always going to align. Sometimes your intuition is going to be at loggerheads with one another, but you'll have this way of calming, like taking a breath, taking a moment, taking a pause, and realizing that it is actually just like a concoction of opposing wills and desires, and actually it's a bit more of a sham, and actually you stand together on top of that hill batting away at other people, and you're much stronger together, and you can step away from any silly arguments that come up and that kind of thing. And you know that ultimately there is strength in 1 and 1 equals 2. That's what I was actually gonna say, in 2 instead of 1, but Justice was brilliant with that 11 there, pointing that out to me. And with Perseverance Gardens in reverse, the 7 of Wands, I think it's that realization that you can step back, from worrying about what other people think and other people's intentions towards this relationship sort of thing, and realizing that you both know each other's thoughts and want to develop. And with the Page of Swords, obviously we've got information and contracts, so I'm hearing like commitment to one another in that way. So maybe, like I was saying with the happily fulfilled place, maybe marriage isn't something that interests you or anything like that, but it feels like there is this kind of just a deeper commitment here, and this want to connect in that way. So let's look at your soul contract as well. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the Chariot, we have the 8 of Pentacles, we have the 4 of Cups, we have the 4 of Pentacles, and we have the 2 of Swords as well. So with the 10 of Pentacles, I think you guys, we obviously had the 10 of Pentacles earlier for your energy, but I think that you are both going to have such a stable and secure network together, and you're going to build so much in together. So that's the development of contracts and information that I had, like I was saying before, about like being connected in that way, in a legal setting, maybe in terms of work, but also maybe in terms of marriage or that kind of thing. But like I said, it's not for everyone that but it just feels that you have such a wealth and abode of family, and that is what that is creating a legacy for people who you may be yet to see, sort of thing, like planting seeds in a garden that you may never get to tread, as it were. And with the Page of Swords, I mean, you could have, if children was something that you guys wanted as well, maybe in your earthly situation you could have children, and maybe one of them is this Page of Swords sort of thing, like kind of a quick-witted, astute, and I see that you both are probably very quick-witted with this like conflict gardens, in terms of like your opposing wills and stuff like that, who's just got a really sharp mind and very astute in all of those things. But I think that's also both of you, is that you combat life in those things, like making it light and all of that stuff. But with 10 of Pentacles, it is that creating wealth, and I think there is just such grounding here. And with the Chariot, I think you're both going to be pushing past obstacles, like pushing past like the need to release, and the need to constantly evolve. And with the Chariot, there is this, in terms of spirituality, this having trust, having faith, letting go of the wheel, as it were, of the Chariot, and trust that by having that destination plugged in your GPS, that you are going to go there. Like trying to relinquish control is what I'm hearing for some people. And with the Ace of Pentacles, like I feel like both of you are going to teach each other hard work and dedication. Not that you weren't doing that before, because like I said, you both come to the relationship with lots of independence and a lot of stability for yourself, but maybe working together, and how actually someone can slot into your life in a really healthy way, continue to challenge you, continue to do all of those things, and even if you don't share goals completely, like you both can work and put hours in and dedicate time and be persistent. And ultimately, I think that's the energy. Like I feel like you both just want to just be really skilled in what you're doing, and I think you both help each other to achieve that in your support, and helping each other like lean into the faith and celebrating each other's victories and that kind of thing. With the Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, Spirit's saying that these are learning things for both of you in terms of what this relationship brings. And with this Four of Cups, I feel like it's really finding, like we spoke to at the beginning with the Transmute card, with the Four of Cups, it's kind of making light out of loss. That this is the card of hope and loss, and that there are dark spaces, there are dark things that you might have to confront, there are challenges and obstacles, because everyone has those things in their life, and you will have to do those things together. But it's seeing and recognizing the emotional opportunity and growth in each aspect, in each situation that comes up. And actually with the Four of Pentacles, it's that realizing that yes, you've grown so much, and yes, you have so much, but in order to constantly evolve and to constantly change and adapt and grow, you need to let go of old energy. And it feels like you'll both be able to get each other out of stalemates, out of crossroads, like that tarantula was earlier. Like as in, not that you were in a crossroads, but you came to a crossroads and you moved yourself forward by following your intuition. And that is what Spirit is saying that this relationship constantly does, is that with this Two of Swords, there may be these mind over heart situations like here, but ultimately you will always realize that the past is the past with this Justice, and you have the ability to move forward and change and tread the new path into the future, and that you can't live in the past, and you're willing to let go and like delegate and not make a prison out of earthly situations, that actually this is a soul spiritual connection that brings so many more ever flowing emotional opportunities for growth and everything. So it doesn't matter how much you grow in terms of your security, stability, how big you are in your careers and your ambitions in that way, but actually ultimately you're people who have such a deep soul connection that helps evolve even further, push the boundaries of what you thought you could do, and keeps with that, like not afraid to evolve and change and move on to a new future path, even if it's something that you've really, really grown to have and do. It just feels like that we can always make it work, and we can always make light, and there is so much magic, so much opportunity. And I feel like, because with the Poet earlier and also the Prince, emotionally there is so much that both of you want to give to the world and to show the world that is the way. Like you can't just hold on to one idea or one job, security, whatever it is, stability, one place. There is that movement always, and I think you move each other along as well. So let's get you some songs as well for this connection. So it could be the lyrics, it could be the artist, it could be the song title that resonates. So let's have a look, see. Ooh, okay. So we have we are never ever ever getting back together, Taylor Swift. So maybe maybe with this connection, maybe it's someone that you never ever thought that you were going to get back together with, potentially, or maybe there are these moments with this conflict gardens where you're like, we're two different people, like there's so many similarities and all of these things, but there's this kind of like coming back togetherness as well. So whenever, like, obviously we had like when you are like coming towards this connection, but that doesn't mean that there's not been history here before, but it could just be that the name Taylor is what resonates with that situation as well. But also the we are never ever getting back together is really reminiscent for me of this Justice card of the past and learning of the past. And maybe with that Four of Swords moment, maybe that's not even like, maybe that was you at one point, or maybe the energy that you may currently be feeling in, if you feel like that resonated with you, of that sorrow, like I'm not actually ready to connect to love and connect to that energy, as opposed to connecting with this person in that we are never ever getting back together. We've also got 8, Billie Eilish, so maybe the number 8 will be significant to this relationship or you. Also, I love 8 because it's the infinity sign on its side, but you know, maybe that won't resonate with you there. But we've got Waiting for a Star to Fall, Boy Meets Girl, and one of my favourite songs. But also the star is this kind of wish fulfillment, and also this guidance and this this serenity and faith that there is something out there, putting your hope and your serenity into the universe. So like I was saying with the we are never ever getting back together and that Four of Swords, maybe this is your kind of like your guiding relationship, as it were. Not that it's your be all and end all, because you are so much greater than that as well in terms of what you're doing, but it is you're waiting for your love opportunity to fall, and I think both people are in that energy. We've also got Careless Whisper, George Michael. So again, maybe George, maybe Careless Whisper, also a great song. So let's see in terms of your astrology what this connection brings as well. So we've got Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. So like we were saying with Poet earlier, and kind of the energy that you bring as well, in terms of you guys do push past a lot of things and you do transmute that energy, and I think you guys are just like-minded individuals. Like, yes, there's things that, like, with those opposing wills and desires and all of that kind of thing, that will rub you up the wrong way, or that kind of thing, but actually you're really progressive in terms of your relationship and what it brings, and how far internally, like we were talking about earlier, about you being able to transmute dense energy, how actually you are so alike in that way, in that you turn things on its head into a new perspective. And it feels like an original relationship, which maybe it's fresh for both of you in that way, but also with this Five of Wands, like that kind of, you guys do have very strong intuitions and everything, which is quite progressive for people just to follow that. So and yeah, maybe you realizing that you don't have to fight everyone, and you are like each other's sanctuary of like-minded people. We've also got House 11, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So again, I think this is just with this 10 of Cups here as well, like a friendship, like really, really strong friends at the core of it. Like, that is it. And yeah, with the humanitarian beliefs as well, I think with that poet of the raccoon, and also the prince, like princes are of service and giving, and also knights are as well, delivering messages and those kind of things. And with the raccoon, the poet spirit, that is going into your deep recesses and bringing out emotions which people can connect to. And I think you're both like that in a lot of ways, no matter how you express it. And we've also got Neptune, dreams and transcend. And obviously we had dreams, we had star come up as like in terms of our songs here as well. And with the dream, we've spoken so much about kind of the GPS plugging in and all of those kind of things. And I think that is that journey towards like that beginning sort of thing, and transcending maybe what you thought you could have in a relationship, like we said, and and constantly putting your dreams are so aligned in loads of ways, and some in not, that actually you're able to transcend that and realize that you are both a team and you can do both. You can have this connection, this loving connection, and still have your dreams and goals and ambitions and push past and push towards them as well. So let's get you as well some love affirmators. There we go. We've got the love affirmators. That was quick and painless. So we have compliments. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give the gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. We've also got grace. I face disagreements with grace and flow through the ups and downs of my relationships without getting thrown off centre. With grace, I'm able to keep my cool, be my best self, and not resort to name calling, even when the crappy poo-poo face is being a douchey bath monster. And we've got maturity. I make peace with the tough relationships of my past. I probably would have skipped the pain they came with, but I'm grateful for the lessons they brought me. Because of those tough relationships, I can look back at the mosaic of my life, internet stalk my exes, and see value in even the most broken pieces. I really dodged a bullet. So I thought this grace was so interesting with these disagreements, these ups and downs, with this 5 of Wands here as well, with this conflict sort of thing. And I think that's what it is. It is a bit of a sham. And maybe this never ever getting back together, this Taylor Swift, like we were saying with that 5 of Wands, reflective. Maybe that is, maybe sometimes you're like, we're just going to call it quits because you're both really fiery, combative, feisty people, and you're like, no, it's like, it's done, da, da, da. But actually it's like, oh, we're just being really kind of silly in some ways. But I think ultimately there is, like, yes, silliness and that kind of thing, but there is maturity of learning that you are evolving and you are learning from all the lessons that have come. And that really, with the maturity card, made me think of that 4 of Swords and the sorrow that you have, or you know, you feel in your love life, or maybe you don't feel that, and maybe you're in this relationship and you're like, yeah, I completely understand, like I've grown from that and I can see that. But any relationship that you've had, whether it be love or friends or whatever, you understand that it has brought you so many lessons of who you are, and you can balance yourself out and you can choose to go down a new crossroad and learn and accept it and move forwards, no matter what that is. And with the compliments card as well, I feel like, I don't know if you guys speak to yourself how you would a friend in a lot of ways, and I feel like you have grown so much independently by yourself, and coming out of that, I'm hearing this 4 of Swords, this moment where you really had to reflect, take time away, work through that. And actually, do you compliment yourself as well? Like, I feel like, do you talk to yourself the way that you would a friend and nurture yourself in that way? Because how you interact with other people and how you interact with yourself as well, like, you may be this person that gives loads of people compliments and all of these things, but it's give and take in relationships and balancing yourself out as well. And I feel like pay yourself compliments more is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, friends. So let's also get you some Moonology cards as well. So Spirit, what else does my friend need to know? What other pieces of advice do we have for my glorious friends? So we've got, it's time to take action. New moon in Aries, that sat nav, plugging in where you want to go. And like I was saying, like, you have grown so much. There is so much to compliment yourself on in what you have grown, in your independence, what you have been working towards. And it is time for you, with Aries as well, with that tarantula, to listen to your intuition and go for it. Start your new beginning, because just because one cycle has ended with that 4 of Swords, or in whatever section of your life that you feel it, even if one thing has, that does not mean it stops you in all aspects. It's an ever-flowing river. You're always moving forwards. You're always evolving and changing with this Death card. There is so much transformation to be happening. And actually, it's time to take action. It's time to listen to your intuitive voice and have that Ace of Wands, just do it moment, and leap. forwards towards your passions and your desires, and plug that destination in your GPS. We've also got your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn, which, yeah, again, prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. And we've got meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So we've got new moons all around here for you, my friend. And with this Capricorn, and also this Taurus, this hard work and prosperity lying ahead, like, we have seen how much you've grown already and how much you are to grow, how much you have to grow moving forwards. This 10 of Pentacles and this 8 of Pentacles is hard work. Every single thing that you work towards, every thing that you send intention towards, that energy, where energy goes, or where intention goes, energy flows, like we said right at the beginning with that transmute. You are able to bring about what you want. And with this meditate and contemplate, this is your time to connect to spirit, to your spirituality, and trust and have faith. Let go of that wheel and trust that you are where you're going. And even if you can't see all the results yet, even if you can't see everything, you are the magician, the magic manifester of your life, and you are bringing around the changes that you want to see and the goals that you want to create. And don't doubt yourself in that. There is so much lying ahead for you. And just, you've learnt so much already, and you're so independent. Just don't doubt yourself. And like I was saying with like speaking to yourself in that nurturing voice and everything, you are so powerful. You can bring around so much, and your thoughts and feelings have so much power, and you are fully in control of them as well. And you are deserving. You're so deserving of love coming towards you and all of those gifts. And prepare yourself, because they are coming leaps and bounds, as soon as you trust that you are worthy of them, and you manifest. It's not about manifesting a particular person or anything like that. It's more about manifesting the attributes that you want of a loving, reassuring, transmutable, like a light energy, and a feeling of security and stability and all of those things. Because you guys, I feel like, are going to move mountains together and evolve constantly. And yeah, and that's from you as much as them. Together you are both strong individuals that come together and push mountains and move obstacles and do so much. So my glorious friends of pile 3, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. I really hope it resonated. I'd love to hear in the comments if it did with you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble on for so long. I am sending so much love to all of you. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of pile 4. So if you picked the amethyst butterfly, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, what this connection is based on, or what it's like what it kind of brings emotionally and everything, is we've got the patience card, we have got intuition, we have got confidence, we've got flow, and we've also got creativity. So with the patience card, I feel like this relationship reminds you of the natural flow of timing and divine timing, and that divine timing is not on our schedule. And I feel like it links into that flow and trusting the ebb and flow of life and what is flowing towards you with this kind of Ace of Cups moment. And also it's that thing of trusting intuitively that things are happening for you, things which are growing, which you may not be able to see at the moment, but they are there. The roots are taking form, and trusting. And I said this for another group as well, with the flow card, kind of where intention goes, energy flows. And it feels like it is that. Like, there may be, in terms of this relationship, cycles, shifts with the earth, with patience, with nature. And there is that need to kind of relinquish some control and trust that there is a higher purpose here for this soulmate relationship. There is a reason that this person has been brought in to your life to spark creativity, to bring confidence, to deepen your intuition, to deep in that gut feeling and everything. And it's having patience with yourself, patience with the other person. And that's ultimately what you guys connect on, is maybe your patience for the world and patience for the goals and things that you want to bring about. So interesting that you also picked the butterfly as well, obviously a symbol for transformation and rebirth, but also knowing that you can't rush the cycle of being in a cocoon and then emerging. It's a cycle that has to take place, like anything, like any plant that grows or whatever. Like it takes time. There may be delays, there may be those things, but that does not mean that the outcome won't be beautiful. It just may not happen on the time scale that you necessarily want. And we as humans constantly rush to the next thing, the next goal, the next thing that we want. We're always constantly looking to evolve and change and grow. And of course, but actually this relationship as well, there will be this kind of stillness and this patience and knowing that things are evolving, things are taking time, and just trusting one another and trusting that you guys are both flowing down the same river, as it were, on this stream. I just see like it's that feeling of we've come together now, we're flowing forward. And with this intuition as well, it reminds me of this high priestess of this kind of unconscious level. And I feel like a lot of things happen on the unconscious for both of you in this relationship. And with the confidence as well, there's confidence in each other, confidence that you know who the other person is, and confidence of your ideas and what your love and what your relationship brings around, confidence in the other person, but also in the things that you might not be able to see. I think you just see the world as possibilities, things that are growing, things that you can take hold of. And with this creativity as well, there is this nurturing, which is in the patience card as well. So maybe I imagine both of you are very, very hard workers, maybe even creative people. And with the intuition card as well, you know, has to listen to their gut a lot of the time and see where that leads them and takes them. And there's confidence in that. Maybe if confidence in spirituality and in the divine and in that bringing the gifts that you so desire, which maybe you hadn't always had tapped into access in the same way as you would through this relationship, in feeling that, because I feel like the other person as well shares and reciprocates these feelings, so it feels like it's so much more natural for you to do so. So let's see ultimately kind of where you'll be when you meet this person, who they'll be, where they'll be, and what this connection is going to be like. So firstly, let's look at you. So we have shapeshifter, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And we have cheetah energy. In terms of tarot, we have the Hierophant, we have the Two of Swords, and we also have the Knight of Swords. And then in terms of them, we have mystic, revels in intimate union with the divine. We have hummingbird as well. And in terms of tarot, we've got the Two of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Swords, and we also have the Page of Cups. So let's look at you first. So with this shapeshifter and the skill at navigating through different level of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything, that is that patience card in one. Like, and I also with the mystic as well on the other side, you both come into this, not that this is what you connect on, really, what we saw before, like that's not necessarily, I think you both help nurture that even further in each other, but you both bring that level of patience and being able to, even if you can't see the results, even if you can't see where your efforts are going, as it were, by knowing you have the intention there and leaning into the divine, that you are going to navigate through and manifest what you want, and you can see the potential. And with the cheetah energy, this is fire energy, so potentially you're a fire sign, but we've also got air here. So with fire, we could have Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. With the swords down here and the Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords, we could have air, so we could be looking at a Gemini, an Aquarius, or a Aquarius, or a Libra, sorry. And then we've also got Taurus and the Hierophant. I was hearing Taurus and I was like, but that's not air, stop it. And then I saw Taurus and I was like, that's why I got Taurus in my head. So sorry about that. But you might not have those placements, but you may. So with the cheetah, it's much more this, that you are this like captivating energy that actually, like, you are like a sun in your own way, clarity, wisdom. You are going after what you want, like running forward towards it. And with the Knight of Swords, we've also got a runner here, but a runner in a different way. A runner, like the cheetah, I'm seeing like running towards passions, towards their intuition, towards that feeling. And that's fire is ignited by this air taking flight and moving towards being, I feel like you're someone who is very strong in thought, someone who wants to run in a direction and learn everything about something, like direct all of your thought energy to that thing. And you're brave, there's skill here. And when I think you arrive at this relationship, and that kind of thing, I think there is this, with the Two of Swords, this realizing that you can either go, like, continue down the path that you had been treading, the kind of past and all that was bringing all that energy, or the new path. It's really this mind thought energy. And also because we've got this intuition and then this thinking here, it's so interesting that they're the two things that you like relish in doing most thing, like in both. But there's this realization that actually maybe they're pulling you apart in where you are currently in this moment. And actually with the Hierophant, there's this need to kind of maybe even slow down a bit and kind of live in faith every day that you are going to transcend to the shapeshift your reality and all of these things. And maybe you were chasing intuition, ideas, that kind of thing, and maybe not paying attention to your heart as much, like, and maybe not having faith that you are going to receive the kind of the emotions, this knock-on emotions of this soulmate connection, potentially. And it feels like with the Hierophant, like, you are kind of just like, I am just going to go where it flows. Like we had that flow card earlier. I'm going to go where my intuition and my thoughts lead me, and I'm going to be traveling towards that direction above all else. And nothing could really stop you. I'm hearing break my stride, like nothing gonna break my stride. And you just like kind of like running towards that, not running away from anything. That's the difference. It was running towards something, running towards a future. But actually, I think you were kind of getting to that realization that you can't, that they are different, running away and running towards something. And actually, maybe for a long time you were running away from past, or running, like really moving into the future because you wanted to get away from that, to the change. But actually, I think you started to running towards having faith in your shape-shifting abilities, and that actually by evolving and keep shedding your skin, like shedding that which doesn't serve you, that path, listen to your intuitive voice, that you are just going to constantly evolve and move onto new planes and higher planes of consciousness and ability to see a potential and everything. And with this Hierophant energy, I feel like I was saying, student of life, but also ready to learn so much and ready to transcend those levels of consciousness, and maybe and really tap into that intuitive voice and trust it all the time. And in terms of them and where they were, or they are, or will be, depending on the situations. But we have got Mystic, revels in intimate union with the divine. And obviously we had patience, we had intuition, we had all of those things in the beginning, creativity. And we've also got Hummingbird. We've got Two of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and Page of Cups. So in terms of signs, we've got air in terms of the Hummingbird. So we've got Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. See, I got them all in one in that one. And also in terms of, we've got Page of Cups down here as well. So we could be looking at water signs. So that could be a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. But doesn't have to be. But I feel like this person is, and like we were saying, kind of similar to you in listening to your intuitive voice and that kind of thing, but really in touch with spirit, really in touch with the universe and the gifts of the universe, and revels in that spiritual state of contemplation, meditation, that kind of thing, but also in finding the nectar of life, knowing what fuels them above all. And that's a mystic capability in some way. So even if they're not spiritual and all of those things, and they're not surrounded by crystals like I am, but they may just have this kind of really like light ability to find the sweetness of life and find what makes them happy and what fuels them in that way, and connect to the divine and the kind of higher purpose plan. Because when you feel light, when you feel like life is easy and you can find the sweetness and the nectar, you know that you're following your intuition, and you know you're following a kind of higher plan because it feels so easy and all of those things. And I think with the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, this person, when you meet them, maybe weighing up an option, maybe weighing up what they want to be doing, maybe in terms of their career, security, job, that kind of thing. But I think they are actually in this kind of self-entanglement in their thoughts. And maybe this is something that you don't notice straight away, or they don't even realize themselves at this point, but actually they feel like they're abandoning a lot in terms of their thought energy. Maybe if they are like picking one option over the other, seeing how one works for them, but actually they are, I think, moving more towards this sweetness, even if they don't realize. And there's a reason that they've picked up option B in terms of what they want to do, because option A wasn't fulfilling them, maybe in that way. Not that this is a person or relationships or anything, but this is much more like a pentacle, like a security, a job, career, that kind of thing, or where they were living. And with the Page of Cups, this, when you meet them, I think they are just really open, playful, fun, receptive to life, and artistic, creative, and just someone who is really impelled to help other people and lean into that kind of reflective, meditative state. I think they are kind of, I'm hearing daydreamer, like up in the clouds in some aspects, which may be where this mystic comes in. But because they chase that light energy, because they trace tranquility and abundance and radiance, which everyone does in their own way, but I think they realize that they don't want to be in this thought entanglement and everything, and maybe they were actually doing something which didn't make them happy in that way, which is why they're trying to balance what they actually want to do and make that a reality compared to what they were doing. So maybe that's what's tying them up in some aspects when you meet them. But let's see what this first meeting is going to be like. So we have the Two of Cups, which is the card of love, but also of just a rare connection, a healing connection, which has unity and concord, and it feels like it's just a rare connection that you can't even put into words. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where when you know when you see this person, because there are so many similarities here in terms of thoughts sometimes getting the better of both of you, but actually innately you both being very spiritual, highly spiritually aware people who want to go and chase life's sweetness and those things. And you are patient as well. That patience card keeps coming back to my mind of you may not have every single thing together, either of you, but you're willing to see where something goes and give it a chance. And with this Two of Cups, I think you both see this rare connection, this rare soul connection. This is the soulmate card as well, of someone who soul aligns with yours as well in so many ways. And that doesn't mean, like, you know, we've got a cheetah and a hummingbird, different animals, different breeds, but it is that, you know, just that deep concord of you can recognize you in the other person like a mirror up to the other, and it feels like your intuition just knows, your feeling just knows, and you can just see the potential in it, because obviously we've got shapeshifter seeing the potential in everything and everyone, seeing everyone as an assignment, you seeing everyone as a project that who you can learn something from and will bring healing and reassuring, or you'll learn something either way, good or bad. And with the mystic, we've got this intimate union with the divine, the kind of leaning into the trust and faith. So together there's this who knows where it's going to go, but we see potential and we're willing to we're willing to like create what we can, and that's a beautiful energy to be in, especially if you feel like a runner and this person feels like they get caught up in some things sometimes, with this Eight of Swords, like they sometimes feel like they're tangled up in their thoughts or whatever, but you both can cut through that, I think, with this connection and realize that, oh, actually this is something that's worth running towards, as it were. So how they see you, we've got the Eight of Cups, and how you see them, we've got the Star. So with how they see you with this Eight of Cups, it's so interesting how we've got this walking away, and obviously the Two of Swords is walking onto a new path. And I think they see you as someone, especially because they're going through that Eight of Swords, that abandonment of their thoughts, or wanting to move forward and feeling caught up in this kind of thought situation. They see you as someone who emotionally is not afraid to walk away from stagnant energy, stagnant stuff that is no longer serving, which is why it feels like there's that running towards new goals, new things. But it's because you trust your intuition, even if you can't see the path ahead, and they recognize that in you. And I think that's what they admire about you, is that you are not afraid to walk away from the past, but also from emotional energy that does not serve you anymore. And there's that trust and faith that you are going to have a new potential energy. And maybe they want that for themselves as well with this Eight of Swords. And maybe they see you and they can kind of see you as someone that maybe ran away from things in the past, but actually how you have turned that. And they understand that in you, because they feel very similar in that you're not running away, you're actually running towards something new, running towards the potential. And that's the difference. And I think they understand that, even if other people in your life may not have done. Like, you having that faith in every day that there's something towards your horizon, they notice that. They can see that actually it's having faith in unlocking deeper levels and that kind of thing, and an indoctrination into something new, into something you need to learn spiritually. And they recognize that in themselves as well, I think, which is why there's this rare connection, people who can just see themselves in each other. And with the Star card on how you see them, or how you will see them, is this kind of really hopeful and serene person who, again, with this mystic, I think you just see each other for exactly who you guys are. Complex people who, and not many people may understand you at first, and same for them too, but there is this like trust and faith and serenity that things are going to work out. And if they set their sights and lasso up to the stars, as it were, they reach for that and they pour their hope and faith into whatever goal they have, they can bring that down into their reality. There is trust here. And they, like with the patience, maybe they can't see the results, maybe you don't know where you're going quite yet or what you're running towards, but you know there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I just did that as well, which is so interesting with the Two of Cups. I didn't even mean to do that, but that's how entwined I think it feels. And I spoke about that river at the beginning, of like two parts of the river coming together, as it were, and flowing together. And I feel like you guys both just come to each other at the same time in similar situations in some ways, but there's so much to learn from each other in how you approach things and how you are connected in that way. And the Star is all about intention of wanting that intimate union and wanting to bring around the thing that you want. And yeah, I think you guys are perfectly matched in that way, and it is really, really beautiful to have someone that understands you and understands complex parts of you, which maybe not everyone has done before. So let's now get into what earthly situations you may encounter together. So we'll put these cards over here and get going. So we have Conflict Gardens, Five of Wands. We have Messenger of Slow and Steady, the Knight of Pentacles. We have Justice. We have Strength. We have Messenger of Impulse and Opportunity, the Knight of Swords. And we have the Hierophant. Obviously, the Hierophant and the Knight of Swords came up before for you as well. So that's really interesting in terms of what we were saying in terms of togetherness and completion, basically. But with the Five of Wands, Conflict Gardens, I feel like you guys are going to experience a lot of different people's wills and desires, and opposing wills and desires, and maybe each other's as well, because, and you're gonna have to work at it as well. It's like, with the slow and steady, maybe there's going to be obstacles that you have to overcome. Maybe there's distance, maybe there's that kind of thing. Or maybe because there's so many clear goals that you both want individually and where you want to go, things that you want to ground, there's this dedication and persistence here. And there's this need to move forward steadily. And with the Strength card, which with this Five of Wands as well, I'm being called to talk about, we've got Leo energy again, so obviously we had Cheetah over there, but it's really this kind of nurturing the internal and that reflects in the external. And it's like, you both are really strong individuals, strong in who you are and what you want to bring about, but you don't have to roar all the time. And actually, I think you realise that the Conflict Gardens, the Five of Wands, is actually a bit of a sham. Like, you guys are patient to the core, that slow and steady. And actually, if there's noise around you of people saying, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, or you sometimes say that to each other or whatever it is, actually, you both know that that is a bit of a sham. And actually, on a deep level, you are going towards similar things, or you both know each other's goals, your star moments, and where you want to go, that horizon. Even if the whole plan's not been put out yet, there's it, whatever diversion comes out and everything, there's this faith and trust that you are where you're going, and that you live in faith every single day that your opportunities are coming towards you. And obviously with the Knight of Swords as well, again, we've got that which you had there as well. I feel like there's still going to be you coming in and wanting to run ahead and make your plan and do all of those things, but there is this level of patience, and I feel like you are both able to nurture one another in that way and keep each other grounded and slow down the horse, as it were. Like, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is like the slow and steady horse, and the Knight of Swords, which is the one jumping to it, like going on impulse and all those things. And of course, you guys are both intuitive people, gut people who follow that voice. But there is balance with this Justice card, and I think you both balance each other out and actually help each other, whatever plan it is that you want to bring about. Maybe at first there's a bit of conflict and there's a bit of like, we can't do that, blah, 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 but actually you're able to rein each other back in some ways. And I feel like it's like two horses, like one charges super ahead and then the other one catches up and brings it back. And it's just that constant, like, you are flowing and there's no standstill here. There's always current like evolution. And with the Justice card as well, there is this, we had the Two of Swords before for you as well, of like relinquishing the past. Like, you both are not who you were in the past, of what you did and that kind of thing, but you can learn from it, you can make changes, and you can move forward. And that's what that strength is, of finding the strength of accepting what is and what has happened because of your past actions, and actually moving forward into the impulse and the opportunity, slowly and steadily towards that, and learning about like nurturing each other and yourself. And I feel like with this Strength card as well, Leo is all about personality, and well, not all about, there's so much more to us Leos, but because I'm a Leo, but I feel like with the Strength, it's a lot of it is that kind of identity in who you are and making statement and that kind of thing, and being proud and loud and all of those things. But I think, it's realizing that you are all of those things, but also you can be quiet and you can be patient with yourself and nurturing with yourself. And I think you both learn how to bring that side out of the other person. And with the Hierophant, there is so much faith, and I feel like we spoke a lot about kind of maybe we had that confidence card earlier as well, in terms of maybe in past, like running away from things or moving away from things. There has been emotional things that you've had to walk away from, or thoughts that have left you tangled up and everything, that maybe you didn't want, maybe you and them didn't want to move forward in love in that way, and you just, there felt like conflict that you didn't want to move past, or there was feelings that you just couldn't see a way out. But with this slow and steady, it feels like no matter what setbacks you both have, there is always that faith that you will together kind of still be students to life, like we're saying for you, and really see the opportunity and the potential in everything, and seeing things as a time for transformation and rebirth. So let's look at your soul contract with this person. So we have the Four of Swords, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Knight of Swords, and we also have the Magician. So I feel like with the Four of Swords, it's really interesting, because I was literally just saying about the kind of sorrow and grief maybe of past relationships and things like that. And with the Four of Swords, I feel like this relationship on a soul level helps you both get out of a period of kind of a time where you were in this sorrow, and this period of where you didn't want to move forward in a lot of ways. And actually it's after the rest and solitude, seeing that there's tranquility and hope and everything in a new relationship, and seeing that it's kind of safe to return. And we had that Eight of Swords for them as well. And I think no matter what emotional thing you may have to abandon, or whatever thought energy you may have to leave behind in the past, there is always this Ace of Pentacles, this new opportunity, and like we were saying, a new lens, a new way to see it, a new thing to a new opportunity for security and stability being presented. And it feels like, I mean, Ace of Pentacles, luckiest card on the deck as well. I feel like it is this luck, like you find so much luck in each other, but actually it's seeds that you get to continue to grow together, continuing opportunities that you have, that you can bring about new things. And actually with the Seven of Pentacles, the woulda, coulda, shouldas in the Justice card of looking back, actually you guys both have grown and done so much separately, and actually together you can grow so much and move forward with the changes. And actually there's so much learning to be had when you accept what you can't change. And it's kind of like with the Two of Cups again, obviously that's what your first meeting was like. I think this is a rare connection, a rare healing connection, where there is so much reassurance, so much to drink from, so much abundance there. And again, card of soulmates, card of love. And no matter what pain or strife or things that you feel like you have to rest on, if one person has to take the lead for a while, maybe if you know, if one person is in this period where they feel like they're heavily going through like having to like stop a project or that kind of thing, or having to be really patient with it in some way, there is always this kind of this love that can be brought into the situation. And I also think sometimes we look through the world through the lens of fear. And not necessarily that you guys do that, because we've got this spirituality card, obviously, that we had, and like mystic and that kind of thing. But I think you guys will always bring each other back to love, and actually realise that love is patience and all of those things, and kind of energy and magic. And on this level where you guys connect, no matter what you're charging towards, no matter how maybe sometimes like maybe Knight of Swords, which has come up again. Maybe this is a real reflection of you, or maybe it's a reflection of both of you when you're like striding in your power towards what you want, because there are so many goals, there is so much skill and bravery which you both show in that way. Sometimes communication may be off, and maybe it's a time for you guys to learn how to rein in your communication, that kind of thing, and that actually you don't need to shout the loudest, you don't need to bombard people with your dreams of what you want and get into this sham conflict and all of this stuff and conflict gardens, 5 of Wands, but actually that you are both very skilled, and you don't need to trample on everyone to get your point across. Like, you can bring love, soothe, and actually you both move towards the direction of love and towards communicating love above all, and you remind and kind of keep each other in check in that way. And with the Magician, this soul contract is to connect you even further to the divine than you already are, and that spiritual kind of realization that you are a lightning rod for the divine, and you guys can create whatever you want in terms of individually powerhouses, both of you powerhouse people, but also together this rare connection. You can create the life that you want, all of these opportunities for stability and security. You can ground them, you can take those seeds, you can make them. I'm not saying that they won't, like, always they're going to come to fruition and everything, but when they align to your higher purpose and what you want to bring around, you are this magician, this powerful instigator with action. And you guys are all about action, but also about feeling and intent, and that is the most important thing for creating what you want, with that justice, with creating changes in the moment that will affect your future. And I think you guys are always evolving, always ready, and going with the flow, like realizing you're a divine lightning rod, but also knowing that you can't have everything. Your ego's plan is it is not the be all and end all and everything. There is a higher plan, and this soul contract is this love connection above all else that brings around and affects so much around. But actually you're able to bring each other back from periods where there may be self-doubt, there may be thoughts that get on top of each of you and that kind of thing, but actually ultimately you're always drawn back together, and how you can grow even further and grow forward to manifest exactly what you want, your dreams and desires. So let's also get your astrology for this relationship. So we've got Pisces, intimacy, intuition and compassion. So obviously intuition has come up for us time and time again, and so this is to delve even further into this idea of connecting to spirituality and the divine, and also intimacy, which obviously we have in the 2 of Cups and in so many of the cards that have come up, and compassion, strength. Like, that is both of your power to understand each other on a level which not everyone may be able to understand you both on, and maybe even, like I was saying about that kind of feeling like you're trampling thoughts and that kind of thing, but actually you both know where the other person's coming from, and I feel like you guys are very fast moving in the direction of where you want to go, but you can bring love to those plans and those decisions, and actually, like I was saying, rein the horse back in if it needs to, and all of those things. We've also got house 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service and healing and reassurance with this 2 of Cups as well, but also spirituality with the Magician, and transcending what, like, the thoughts of other people and what you thought you could be, and all these conflicts that may be surrounding and everything. You know, this is, and with justice, karma, you know, affecting your future, and you guys are both very, very powerful people, and you are kind of bursting out of these cages of what you thought you could be. And I think you guys just keep unlocking those things together, unlocking what it is to connect to the divine and to spirituality in whichever way you see it. And we've also got Mars, move forward and defend self. So yeah, we've got the Knight of Swords, which is sometimes can be quite self-defensive and all these things, but the movement forward is the most important, like the most interesting thing for this connection, because we had the flow, we've had rivers, all of these things, all of these imagery, they're kind of bursting out the cocoon with the butterfly. I think moving forwards is your thing with action in this relationship. Like, there is always that need to karmically move forward together. No matter if someone needs to take a rest or whatever, it's still that active waiting, active knowing that they're going to be safe to return. And then there is this person, whichever person it is, who needs to take that time. And I reckon it probably flips and turns and whatever, who will be able to like have a safe return, and they'll be charging towards what they want very shortly after that point. So let's get you some songs as well, which it may be the artist, it may be the lyrics, it may be the song title that resonate with this relationship. So we'll get some on the table for you. Right. So we have Don't Bring Me Down, Electric Light Orchestra. And this is so interesting with the Don't Bring Me Down, because all of this kind of transcendence and I was saying like the raining and the horse, I feel like maybe that's where that conflict gardens comes in, like, don't you bring me down, I got stuff that I gotta do and all of this stuff, like always wanting to move forward. But also we've got electric light and light, like I was saying, those lights that you want to go towards, that star energy and all of that. So I think it's because you guys just have so many plans and ambitions together, but also separately, that you want to move forward towards. And I think you're both going to help each other grow, but you're like, okay, we've got to learn from the past though before we can move forward and make changes, because we can't repeat what we've done. And we've also got, like, you're both voices of reason for each other. We've got You've Really Got a Hold on Me, the Beatles. Yeah, the Two of Cups, like the rare connection, which keeps coming up. We've also got Here Comes the Sun. Guys, the light's back. I love all this light imagery, like just bursting forward into new things. But also with the sun, like there is that patience of the cycles. Like, you know, we go through night into the sun, and it's like, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. And I think that's where you guys really hit your groove, is actually realizing like we've planted a lot of things, we're waiting for it to come about, like we are going to be dawning together, like we can celebrate each other's wins. And it must be love, madness, and with that madness and it must be love, it reminds me of this with the Five of Wands, which we're talking about, like other people maybe not even like understanding the whole of your relationship and all of these things, that like love is what brings you back ultimately time and time again together. And that is the soul contract here. Obviously we're looking at soulmates, but you learn so much from each other, but ultimately it's how you can create what you want with love and with that intention of love. So let's also get you some love affirmators. So Spirit, what does my glorious friend pile for need to know in terms of love? Because like I said, you could be in a relationship with this person now, you could be single, whatever it is, but we'll get this. So we've got rest. I take a step away from my stress, and then a deep breath, and then a crankiness killing nap. When I get the rest I need, I instantly become a better version of myself, able to navigate complex relationships in a single bound. When I don't, I'm not, which means I shouldn't, but I try to. And then we can't, and it doesn't, but I did, so I wasn't. Ugh, good night. And that's that Four of Swords, rest, recuperation. So Spirit is saying, like, maybe this relationship with this soul contract, you know, maybe it comes about after a period of rest, but actually realizing that you can nurture yourself with that strength card, and like you are always going to get back up on that horse. We've had so many knights directing their energy towards what they want, and that is who both of you guys are. And yeah, and that will always help you through whatever situation, whatever obstacle you're facing. We've got boundless love. Today I'll open my eyes a little wider and walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it's easy to fall in love over and over again with everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else sort of falls into place. This is seeing the world through the lens of love, like we were saying, instead of the lens of fear potentially that some people do, like seeing the world as with other people's or their fears and anxieties put upon them, like, and actually seeing the opportunity, seeing the potential in the world, which I think you guys do, and seeing how you can transcend that consciousness, because we had that shapeshifter over there, seeing things from a different perspective, a higher perspective, and trusting that any periods of rest, any obstacles that come, large or small road bumps, that they are learning tools for you to keep walking higher and higher and higher. And yeah, not afraid to move forward. We've also got reliability. I am reliable. When I say I'll do something, I take whatever that something is seriously. This applies to all commitments, even the ones that may have seemed small and insignificant to a less reliable me. From now on, flaking is just for dandruff commercials and cereal factories. So with the reliability, obviously we've got this kind of divine timing again, which we were talking about patience before, and like how things happen on a or divine timing is not our timing at all of what we want to do and everything. But we've had this whole like running away, running towards and that kind of thing. But actually, you are, even if you're running towards something you want, you are a reliable source of energy and light. And with that cheetah energy, you are radiant. And just trust, because you may be running late to things you feel that you should be on time for, or if you feel like you know, it's not on everyone else's timing, trust that your time is coming and that you will be ready to harness the power of this commitment now or whenever you need to, because you are the watchkeeper of your life, sort of thing. And like with the higher perspective, you know, you are, chase your intuition, chase that thing, and chase that voice, because that again is very, very powerful. So let's get you some Moonology cards as well. So Spirit, what else does my friend need to know? My glorious friends of pile 4. Okay, one on the floor. So we have got a new start is coming, new moon. So whether you are in a relationship with this person, maybe if you feel like, yeah, this is him or her or whoever it is, or like we're talking about, or if you feel like I'm single and I'm ready to mingle, pringle, whatever it is. I feel like with this new start coming, this Ace of Pentacles, no matter which situation it is in, it's like you guys are always constantly evolving. There's always new starts on the horizon for both of you. But if you are, you know, like kind of looking for this love and all of these things, like trust that you are ready for this commitment, like we were saying with the reliability card, when it comes. So Spirit, what else does my friend need to know? Expect powerful change, new moon, eclipse. I love this card. With the Justice as well, with that Justice card that we've been talking about, that kind of balancing and that need for change, that movement, that making changes in the present moment that affect your future. And that Magician card that we've got at the bottom, like, you are a powerful manifestor and you can create the change that you want to. We've also got communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So with this relationship, we have so much emotion, so much intuition here. And actually we've got this Knight of Swords, which keeps cropping up. And the communication here is key, and how you guys communicate. And we've also got this butterfly, which I just realized because of this. You guys have both got your goals, things that you want to transform towards, and all of those things. And actually, you know, you may be on different paths, like in terms of your thoughts and your plans and that kind of thing, but communicating with each other is always the best way to do it, because there is such a connection here. And just expect change and power in this relationship beyond what you thought, sort of thing. And yeah, and it's so exciting for you guys. I think especially if, like we were talking about before, with this kind of flow and all of these things, and trusting and having faith, as shapeshifter, if you feel like this is miles and miles away, a new start is coming, and there is that butterfly, that cocoon, and maybe you feel like you've been in this period of rest, but there is new things happening. There are always things happening, always things growing in that divine garden with that patience. And that is key at the moment, like communicating what you want with the divine and saying what you want and keeping your goals in mind of where you are going. That is going to bring you closer towards them. Where intention goes, energy flows. So if you want to receive this and love, put your intention into, that is what I want. I want a healthy relationship where it brings all of these things about. And yeah, you become like a vortex for it. So my glorious friends of pile 4, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I really hope it resonated. I hope there was some useful advice there for you guys. I'd love to hear in the comments if there was. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me for so long. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye.